The Yellow Brick Road. This video does not reflect the actual views of real people. These are actors playing a role to entertain audiences. No persons or animals were harmed in the making of this video. Gosh, I love YouTube and I love Google.
But they forget about young people are really interested in technology. They're really interested in AI. They're really interested in the future of work. That's a huge part of the movement now.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is
and in
James,
particular,
and we're watching
entrepreneurship. In particular, a lot of young
ship.
people are really interested in entrepreneurship. They want to know how can I get access to capital? How can I start funding my business? In particular, out of college. And what's interesting, Dan, in particular, I do a lot of conversations about the Agricultural Committee, and Senator Gillibrand is really interested in crop insurance.
New York Senator Democrat.
Yes.
Kirsten Gillibrand. She's somebody you talk about a lot on your show.
Yeah, I actually had her on my show. And so what she and I talk about is young people that talk about entrepreneurship, the most trendiest entrepreneurship
everything is not
they're
good.
interested in is actually craft beer.
Free smoke.
Craft beer, you never
Anybody.
craft beer when it comes to Agricultural Committee. But she's
Here for the riots and the smoke.
The governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo,
You'll be safe.
to really stir growth in the state of New York for the crops in
Are you
order
telling
to
me I can
help
breathe
spur
easy?
the new economy for
smoke to choke
millennials,
on?
in particular the
I'll
millennials
be breathing
interested in
easy?
craft beer.
First of all,
And so I think
major
it's time for us to start widening the scope
to that.
platform of what young people are interested in so that we can keep the momentum going, not just in the 2020 presidential election cycle, but also in the midterm cycle.
When I was young, my principal interest was beer as well. I'm just kidding. Let's just talk a little bit about
Checking the sound.
the extraordinary nature of this election in terms of folks who are coming out to run. Just some stats here. Number of women running, 276 women running, that's a record. Number of non-white candidates, 210. We've got the potential this year to have the first Native American governor in the state of Idaho.
Who gives a fuck?
Transgender, first Muslim women in Congress, first Native American women in Congress.
Right? In an ideal world,
with the
he's the first of this. I'm like, why are we really counting that?
People are starting to
How about what he believes in? That's what I care about more. Or she, or whatever.
Older white man that's running. So when you see a more diverse,
What does Zer believe in?
also a diverse candidate,
There should be
identify with those individuals, so it makes you want to participate.
character
to make
reasons
sure that
why
they
someone
win.
is
I think
elected.
that now, because of technology, actually,
No.
technology has allowed us
I'm
to
voting
have a
for
voice.
her
We're
because
so used to
she'll be
now
the first
communicating
green,
on
one-legged
We're so used to now
woman in the
communicating on
world
Instagram. We feel
to run for
empowered
office,
by that
to
now.
have the office.
Disruption occurring
Like,
that
what?
you don't have to be this traditional individual
What?
who went to law school to run for
And
office.
by the way,
He's a traditional individual who now works on the
allegedly he
Wall
might be a
Street, right?
psychopath. You know,
what
there's a
a
lot of
different
murderers
candidate
connected.
looks
But
like
no,
has
he
changed, and I think that's
they'll be the
emboldening
first
people.
of this.
And I think we're seeing the results and the success of that.
I'm on that
This is even
team.
encouraging individuals
I'm
more.
excited.
But I mean, I have to imagine at the root of some of this is Trump. That's causing a lot of these people to run. I mean, not only everything you just said about the emboldening impact of technology, but especially when
Trump's name will always seems to always be brought up.
But a significant percentage of Democrats, and we know that Trump has not done well historically in the polls with women.
You're absolutely right. There is a Trump effect that's allowing more women to run, but I also think that we're just in that place now in America where we see the potential, right? We no longer see this set trajectory that used to be very traditional. And I think we want to have more ownership of our democracy. I think it actually stirred with the presidency of Barack Obama. I think we began to see what is possible. So for the first time, if you see a black man being elected president and that the citizens of the state of Iowa will actually vote for him, then I think you say, okay, wait a minute, maybe I too can run too as well. The Trump effect is there too as well because now for the first time, America wanted a businessman, right? Or a business person, I should say. And so they were looking at a candidate who wasn't traditional. Now, what they got is one thing, right? But they were looking out of the box, this unconventional notion of campaigning. And as we see different women run, as we see different minorities run, the styling of their campaign is different, right? They're not doing this Manchurian candidate, this cookie cutter candidate, but they're seeing more authenticity out at play.
This shit is
So
special.
glad to have you here tonight, Mike, and I know we're going to be bringing you back.
Eventually
this
there
evening.
will.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Let's get it out to ABC's Paula Ferris, who's covering one of, if not the hottest races in the country. It's in Texas. It's the Senate race. Paula, take it away.
Good evening to you, Dan, from Texas, where everything is bigger, including this Senate race. We've just learned that this has become the costliest Senate race in U.S. history. $110 million has poured into the state between Congressman Beto O'Rourke and Senator Ted Cruz. Now, we're here at this minor league baseball stadium where Congressman O'Rourke will be watching the returns come in. He's trying to unseat Senator Ted Cruz. That seat, that particular Senate seat, has been red since 1988 or since Ted Cruz was 17 years old. Now, on policy and personality, these candidates couldn't be any more different. Just this morning, Beto O'Rourke was talking about the border, saying, quote, our borders are not a threat. But O'Rourke, you go to his rallies and he preaches health care, he preaches unity, he preaches dreamers. As for Cruz, he's preaching jobs, freedom, and security. And when it comes to immigration, their policies are virtually opposite. Cruz supports a wall, O'Rourke opposes the wall. Cruz supports militarization of the border when necessary. O'Rourke does not. In fact, he says that we should be investing in those countries where the migrants are fleeing. And as for the family separation,
bring her home. Give me the delegates, Donald. Give me the delegates.
The families were separated and spent time.
No.
In fact, Ted Cruz has pushed back on the president. And he told me that if the president reinstates a modified version of the family separation policy, he will continue to push back against the president. But you've heard about the early voting around the country, particularly here in Texas. Almost 5 million voted. That early number surpassed the total number from the 2014 midterms. So voters are fired up. Maybe the $110 million question is who's going to feel the benefit of that swing? Beto O'Rourke told reporters last night he likes what he's seen. He thinks it's going to be a good day today. As for Ted Cruz, he tells me that momentum is on his side. He went into this race with a slight lead in the polls, but remember, he needed some help from Ivanka Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and the president himself to come down here and campaign. Polls close here locally at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock Eastern. If Congressman O'Rourke can pull off this victory, Dan, it could go down as one of the most stunning upsets in recent political history. And this stadium holds 7,500 people. What a scene it'll be. Dan, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, he's been trailing a little bit in the polls, but after 2016, I think we've all learned to view polls with a little bit of a more jaundiced eye. Speaking of polling, our colleagues at 538 who analyze the polls, they've created a real-time forecast, and you can see it on the corner of your screen. I believe it is
real-time
right
forecast.
Real-time as results coming in, they are increasing.
They learned from the last election.
That the Democrats will
we can't just jump out and say
House. Again, the big number to look for tonight with the Democrats is they need 23 seats to retake the House. They've not had control of the House for quite a while. If they regain control of the Democrats, it will mean a very different next 2 years for President Trump. Let me bring in my colleague, Mary Alice Parks. One of the races we are watching most closely in terms of
I didn't see what he did.
That perhaps we'll be heading into a blue
what did Trump do? That was like
the Virginia District 10, where we've got a Democratic
What did he do?
challenger, a state senator by the name of Jennifer Wexler.
well, they're like he had control of the House, or Republicans had control of the House. Well, what did he do with
We've
it?
got numbers up right now.
Did he do anything with that?
Well,
I'm not the guy to ask. I just look at what happens, and then I.
So that's
It's like killing Obamacare.
Is projecting that
I just still
travel ban.
I just still see legal wars happening.
Handily beat.
I don't think he accomplished much.
Who, Trump?
Yeah.
He accomplished plenty.
As far as,
Do you
like,
not see?
political-
Do you not see the money, the amount of money being made on the side of the legal wars?
Comstock was seen as the single most vulnerable
Come
Republican
on.
in the country. This is a district right
plenty for the rich
Washington,
people.
D.C., a pretty wealthy, educated district where Hillary Clinton won by double digits. So
They're healthy
in
and
some ways,
educated
this win is not hugely
by their
surprising
standards.
for Democrats, but these are exactly the kinds of districts that they've been targeting around the country, where they went in really early and spent big really early. There's about 24 districts like this where a Republican held the seat, but Hillary Clinton won.
So there are other seats in Virginia in particular.
Yeah, because she was more Republican than Donald Trump was.
We've got Republicans vulnerable, and like in the Richmond area, places where traditionally they're not vulnerable.
Right, and those are going to be a lot harder for Democrats to know. We still don't know yet how that night's going to go. In Virginia across the board, there were 4 competitive seats, really competitive seats in that state, and I was struck by the fact that Democrats had women
Yeah, but on that account,
whose account is that?
It's mine.
So why do you think we're seeing so
followers
many
and shit.
women running this year? I mean, I talked with Mike about the statistics here, but
If they debate, man, yeah, hey, debate us on YouTube.
276 women running this year.
Saturday.
Join the party.
In the House, 23 in the Senate, 16 gubernatorial candidates. What's
We've just
going on
never
here?
seen numbers like
Give me
that.
the results,
You know, I think
motherfucker.
after 2016, women across the country, especially Democratic women, sort of woke up and realized that they felt really underrepresented in Congress. In the last 10 years, they've made up at most 20% of the House. Now, all of a sudden, we have women saying, we would like to take back this party. And women that are real leaders in their own right. That's something that I'm just struck by across the country. Military vets, lawyers, doctors, real true professional leaders that have had impressive careers, saying that they're now ready to switch gears and rebuild the Democratic Party.
She just said was a whole lot of nothing.
To the idea
Well, women,
of,
doctors,
the
veterans.
year of the women, or the so-called
So
pink
what?
wave. Some people saying, look, like,
So what?
Don't infantilize us.
Unreal. It's a whole lot of nothing. It's like, I don't know what you mean. Like, you're gonna elaborate on that?
Every year should involve women.
But we've never before had the chance to have women equally represented in Congress. If women win by the numbers that they've been winning in the primaries this year, women could in fact be close to 50% of Congress. A lot closer than they've ever been before.
Stand by, because I want to deliver a little bit of news. We can project one of the races that we've been watching tonight. This is I wouldn't say a layup for the Democrats, but certainly a race where there had been some level of concern. It involved Sherrod Brown, who's the incumbent Democrat in the state of Ohio. He's running against Jim Renacci, his Republican challenger, and ABC News can project
Tim Kaine
that Sherrod
defeats
Brown
neo-Confederate
will retain his
Trump
seat in the
loyalists
state
in
of
Virginia's Senate
Ohio.
race.
As we have said throughout the
Neo-Confederate.
evening, it is
Neo-Confederate.
an unusual
What?
We made a new word.
What?
such a high level
What?
of engagement at all levels of the population,
What?
including young people.
Bernie Sanders
We are, of
destroyed
course, keeping an
whoever
eye on
was in
social
Vermont
media,
running against
and
him.
ABC's
Here we
Kent
go.
Moulton is running
As
for
an
100%
independent.
on that angle. Kenneth, what do you say?
Not
Social
as
media is being used to motivate
a Democrat,
and mobilize. We're seeing something extraordinary
which
right
leads
now.
people to
We've
think
been
that he's going to be
reports
running for
of
president
people in
again.
long lines waiting to vote and been waiting
This
for
will be good.
hours and
You'll see if
continuing
people
to
ignore
wait,
this.
even as the polls close across this
How dare you,
country.
bro.
And you've got some big names with big followings on social media.
Voting
who are
is
telling
the
people to
beacon
hashtag
of
stay in
democracy.
line. Lady Gaga here saying, if you're in line, stay in line. Every vote counts. Again, that hashtag stay in line. We see
This is the beacon.
You don't want to have to mock,
We're
but
seeing other
it's
people
just
telling
so
folks
blatantly.
It is, man. It's like, guys, democracy. So if we have 10 serial killers out there, and 20, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
20 serial killers versus 5 sane people. Well, majority rulers. This is democracy. I am Stephen Marnu. Just pulls like the lever on the electric chair.
Also,
Like they win.
shouldn't be voting ideas, because one person can have just one idea that you like. The other guy could have no ideas that you like. You end up picking the guys like, we need women's rights, but children, fuck them. We need to slap you. You're allowed to beat your children now. We're gonna have massive war. Fuck the environment. So you have to find someone who encompasses all your ideas, and the only person that does that is you. So, so what do you really? I don't know. Wouldn't it make more sense to just vote on ideas strictly?
Let me point out again what we were talking about earlier.
Just have someone who's like
over at 538
purely just a moderator.
Polls, they have changed.
Oh, this guy just reads the results of our voting process instead of telling us ideas and like,
that way, this way.
Well, eating shit sounds better than eating poison, so I guess we're eating shit.
Their forecast, they're increasing the
Or you can
odds
vote for like a
according to their
cheeseburger or
model,
something.
That the
Yeah,
Democrats
that might be a better
will
way to go about it.
retake the House from the
Listen,
Republicans. At this point,
I'd
they're
even
saying
fuck
the
you in your
odds of
mouth
the
or your
Democrats
ass,
taking
you
the House,
choose.
14 and 15, that's pretty high. But let's bear in mind, and I think my friends over at 538 would agree, 2016 was a humbling year
there he is.
for pollsters and pundits. Let's take a look at some of the
Matt
areas
Hunter,
where we're getting
the
some
man with the
interesting
extremely
information.
deadly bow.
ABC News is able to project a winner in the Senate race.
Rihanna telling
The
blacks to
Democrat
vote for a
Sherrod
candidate
Brown,
based on skin color.
likely
So
to defeat, according to our projections, Jim Renacci, his
Socio-political
Republican challenger. And in Virginia, a race that a lot of people were watching as
They said
Mayor
as too?
Park said A very
Astute.
vulnerable Republican incumbent, Barbara Comstock, in a district where
White celeb telling blacks to vote for a candidate based on skin color equals racist hate speech.
Democratic challenger Jennifer Wexton. We're coming up.
Nah, they both sound dumb.
On the East Coast, and this
did Rihanna do that, or did she just pick a black guy and you're assuming that she says vote for this guy because he's black?
Pat Hunter, do you hate Rihanna?
Because we just...
What did Riri do to Matt
I believe we just saw Beyonce in a Beto O'Rourke hat. And he happens to be a white guy and Beyonce's black. And LeBron James supported the same guy.
ABC News Live
over the minority Ted Cruz.
Anchor George Stephanopoulos and his team of wise women and men
I don't know.
take over the coverage. Bear in mind that when they throw to a commercial break on the broadcast network, you're not watching that. You're watching ABC News Live. So I will be swooping in along with the rest of our team to give you non-stop information, analysis, and updates. You will not miss a thing throughout the evening and no commercials. So here we go. It's 8 o'clock on the East, and ABC's chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, takes over the coverage.
Here comes the results.
This is going to be great. Say, look. God damn it. This shit gets 100. Okay, I got 100 views. This shit, can't scroll by. Have a conscience. Have a conscience.
Live from New York City and across the country, this is ABC News Election Night 2018. Now reporting, George Stephanopoulos.
It's a sports event.
What is this shit? Is this ESPN?
It's a sports event.
You hear the music? Look at this. Oh my god.
There's like fucking 50 people there.
Control of Congress, the course of the Trump presidency, our country's future, all at stake. We are here at ABC News Election Headquarters in New York. Our political team in the studio.
Man, they are really trying.
Across the country
Free smoke, free smoke.
To track the vote and help explain what it means for all of us in the months ahead. This is a national election, and we brought the U.S. Capitol here to help illustrate how things are trending. All 435 seats in the House are up tonight.
We only pay attention to one. Red? What was
just over a third.
That's it.
Voters in 36 states will choose governors.
Watch him mispronounce like green. It's like grass. Anyway.
We're going to be laser focused on two key numbers you see right there, 23 and 2. Congress will change hands as the Democrats pick up 23 seats in the House, 2 in the Senate. The GOP hope to increase their majority there. We already have some results. We already have a flip. It is in the House. It's from the state of Virginia. Jennifer Wexton.
I'm asking for someone to get this. I like still editing your
D.C. She was the most, Barbara Comstock, one of the most vulnerable Republicans in the country. That seat has gone to the Democrats. President Trump may not be on the ballot tonight, but he is dominating our politics and our culture, stirring up passions and making this midterm to a degree.
Like our culture. What is going on?
And we've asked voters as they leave the polls what they think of President Trump, how it plays into their vote. World News anchor David Fury with that.
George, we heard it so often from the president in these final weeks. He said, pretend I'm on the ballot. And people didn't have to pretend. They went to the ballot.
Trying to kill the echo.
On whether or not they approve of Donald Trump. Take a look at the numbers that are coming in. These are preliminary exit polls.
What?
44% of voters who turned out the polls today said they approve of President Trump's job performance. 55%
we will keep talking about Trump.
That crucial question of whether or not they voted
First of all,
today
fuck him.
Because of President Trump, with the president in mind. 26% said they voted to support the president. But look at this, 38% said they opposed President Trump. About a third there said the president is not a factor, but nearly 2/3 of the country heading to the polls today with President Trump in mind.
On their mind, Chief White House Correspondent John Carl is here as well. One of the things different from
look at this shit.
Hey, let us know if you can hear hear them and hear us.
Dude, how questionable is this shit?
Just since Labor Day,
they got rid of it.
campaigning like the fate of his presidency is at stake, and this is the first time that the nation has been able to go to the polls and to render a judgment on the Trump presidency, and he himself has called it a referendum on his presidency.
He's called it a referendum on his presidency. Senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. In the last week, the president also chose to focus on immigration, on the border, white-hot rhetoric.
This has been one of the most divisive midterms in our lifetime. The president using language that appealed, frankly, to the nativist impulses of voters. You heard him lay out this closing argument crystal clear. America will be overrun by masses of illegal immigrants if you do not vote Republicans. We will
Fear. Fear, you're gonna die.
That's the typical Republican talking point. And also, when we point out the Ben Shapiro's and the Stephen Molyneux's, and we're like, dude, they're just repeating old Republican, well, maybe not Molyneux's much, but definitely Ben Shapiro. When they're just repeating old political talking points, this is what we mean.
Matt Hunter, Rihanna said to vote for
Gillum
in Florida because the U.S. needs more black governors. If she did say that, if she did say that, then she's dumb.
Yeah.
She's dumb. If that's true, she's dumb.
Also,
how do you know if those people, like, no matter, regardless of whatever they identify as, whatever they, you know, whatever they look like, I don't give a fuck, man. As long as they're good people.
Also, progressives have abandoned Gillum because of his wonkiness on Medicare for all. Right, it was one of those key words where he said, we need affordable health care in this, after he campaigned on free health care. Now he's saying affordable health care. We need health care for women, we need health care for children, we need health care for poor people. You're moving too much.
Huh?
You're moving too much.
No, I'm not.
Your hand is moving too much.
Virginia 10, Republicans were able to hold Indiana 2, Florida 16, and Florida 25. Those just coming in right now, George. But it's still very early in the night. We're still tracking 93 races.
93 races, and in the Senate, a very different map.
It is a very different map and a very different story.
It's a big number. Double digits. Double digits. Double digits, John. It's a big number.
35 Senate races right now, and when we go back to our battleground, our chipboard here, you can see all of that blue. We've already had some results come in. Democrats have been able to hold Virginia,
dude, it's like a draft. I swear to God.
Maryland, Rhode Island, but we're really tracking, George.
Like, how much does this shit cost?
You can see the these are states where President
A lot.
and Democrats are on defense, but there are some red states as well.
This runs the LB network.
Texas, Tennessee, we're also watching closely.
And Nate Silver from, thank you, Tom. Nate Silver from 538
Fake ass desk
as well. And your forecast going into the election night reflected what we saw in those maps right there.
Yeah, no, and you expected a big split between the House and the Senate, where there's so much territory Democrats are defending in the Senate and so much for the GOP in the House. And so far, that's borne out. I mean, we haven't had any truly toss-up races called.
This is what turns people away from, like, issues and shit. They're saying stuff that's not that complicated to understand, but it's so fucking boring and so empty. Sort of like, fuck, I don't even feel like paying attention to this.
That's that, and then they talk to me
and
like
they end up not looking at issues at all.
Well, that, and then whenever they do, they talk to me like I'm 7. Like, you won't understand. It's really tough. You know, first of all, take your hand off of me. Yeah, second of all, what the fuck, dude? I know what you're talking about.
You know, maybe for a change, it'll be a night where
they're analyzing statistics right now. Yeah. Who won where and by what percentage and what is their odds of winning.
That's all they can talk about.
Issues are not even on the table.
Fuck Bernie.
In the state of Virginia, Tim Kaine, remember he was the vice president.
He endorsed a
warmonger. I like Bernie as an independent more than a Democrat. How about that?
I don't trust him. How about that?
Will be the projected winner in the state of Massachusetts and in the state of Ohio.
Elizabeth Warren. Who's she again?
In the state of Ohio, Virginia.
She's the Native American.
Oh. So she's a silly person.
Of Tim Kaine.
Guys, it matters.
She used to be like a hero to the left.
George, there's no question.
She's like, we need to go out their bench right now. Like, these guys are criminals. That's what made her rise.
And now what? And now what?
Now she goes on stage holding Hillary's hand saying, vote for her.
Just give us a sense of what you're watching, what they're going to be watching in the White House tonight.
Well, a few things. First off,
Bernie is a traitor. Wait, turning
the Indiana Senate seat. They think that's a key pickup for them.
That's the Democrat incumbent Joe Biden.
Correct. And they're also
trending now.
watching the governor's races because what you see
Levi
is the exact opposite of what you saw
or
in
Levy.
the Senate map. 36 governor's races, 26 the Republicans have to defend. And of those 26, 12 are open seats, George. So it's going to be a very tough night.
He's right.
In the White House going to be looking at who's going to be drawing those maps.
Oh, not this
in
fucker.
2020 and 2021 for redistricting of congressional seats. And so that's what I'm going to be watching tonight. The governor's races
Can you guys hear everything? The video and us?
Can you also hear the screams of the children dying in Syria, Yemen, and Afghanistan? Afghanistan, Iraq? Because they can't hear it. All they can hear is statistics and panels and numbers. Anything statistics or their team, that's what they hear.
Iowa, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania's
So I had Beto O'Rourke winning Texas just because I know nothing about the politics of things. I'm just guessing. Just the look of the guy and the way he talks and shit. I'm like, oh, this guy might win.
I'm guessing the same thing happens.
But Ted Cruz is up by 7%.
I'm guessing the same thing happens. You know, the richer get rich, you know, or the rich get richer, or whatever the fuck.
You know, this is really not
that George guy actually donated $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation. George is the guy with the red tie and the comb over.
Yeah, George Stephanopoulos.
Stephanopoulos. Sniff a snake, schemer,
snoop the snizzle,
gum, snooze, punk ass,
knock on my snake.
He is leading both parties right now.
I can't say that because I'm white.
And Nathan McCain, one of the big questions right there is...
That's what they did. That's what they told me my identity is.
For shiz.
I am what they say. I like how they're all wearing red or blue. It's like, guys, for individuals. Understand? The guy that's wearing green, they gave him the wrong address. He's like, guys, he's outside some restaurant in the back where they throw out the trash and shit. Oh, he's like just looking around. There's like a rat running by him and shit.
We could have potentially a black governor in Florida and the first black woman governor in the country in Georgia.
Who gives a fuck? Like, seriously, are they good people? That's what I want to know. Are they not corrupt? Are they not ignorant? That's what I want.
But the cultural differences,
you know,
across Georgia.
In a better world, right? Would it really matter if you're the first this or that? No one would pay attention to that. That wouldn't be of a second thought. But hey, dude, you're a good guy. You should be in charge of this, man. I like what you got to offer.
What we're looking at
versus
men voting Democratic.
Welcome back, ESPN Politics here. Mary be the first green woman with one leg to own office. What do you think, George?
It is partly a reaction to President Trump.
Oh. That's right.
It's a reaction to the issue they care
Unreal,
about,
man.
Which is health care. And that is something we're going to be seeing throughout the night.
Top issue tonight, Tara Moran. One thing this election tonight may not do: heal the divides in this nation.
It doesn't look like it, and that is partly...
It's funny, a bunch of people in suits who are incredibly ignorant to the actual problems telling us the actual problems of this nation. And I'm going to go back to my giant house. And I'll laugh.
Deliberately turned it to those divisive cultural issues where he can fill
cultural
his
issues.
Drive his base to vote. He decided to campaign on this turf.
And we're seeing the results tonight. We do have raw vote coming in from those key Senate races we've been talking about. Right there, the state of...
I have a name, Matt.
Joe Donnelly,
how am I clueless?
Mike Braun. We're not ready to project that yet. West Virginia. Not enough info to project there as well, but the incumbent Democrat, Joe Manchin, does appear to have a lead over the Attorney General, Patrick.
Matt, you don't even know my name.
And in that key state...
How do I know your name?
Couldn't be closer.
And you don't know mine. You just call me white dude.
Incumbent Democrat up against Rick Scott.
How am I clueless?
The governor of Florida. And Nate, I'm going to come back to you.
I can hear you typing.
Some of your forecasts.
Clicking.
We're seeing initially you saw some early vote reported, for example, in Florida. You didn't have the panhandle in, and that was better for Democrats, for example, than when you have the panhandle. And election day vote seems to have tightened some of that a little bit. The overall story hasn't changed that much. I think if you're sweating things minute by minute, you probably feel a little bit less bad as a Republican now in the House than you did maybe 15 minutes ago.
Okay, Nate, so thanks very much. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
This is a sports channel, man. My God.
Fuck with that.
What?
That's part of the commercial. for the TV channel. Gotta make some money while you're selling your ideas.
My racial demographic is under attack.
ABC News Live. We're going to swoop.
What do you mean?
Continue the news, the updates, the analysis as the evening progresses.
Why am I
let's get
clueless?
right to some of the latest information we're getting here at ABC.
I'm not a big fan of Gillum either. I don't know much about him. Just the things I've heard, to where it's like taking selfies with Cory Booker, has Hillary Clinton campaigning for him, has Barack Obama campaigning for him, which just smells like just the same old Democrat.
So the night is young. Let's take a look at the situation.
I mean, did I miss something here?
United States Senate. The Democrats need 2 seats to.
Your racial demographic is under
They need to pick up 2 seats in order to take back control of the Senate.
I'm waiting.
Clearly, I can't have an answer on that.
But we're going to continue to watch
All
it.
you.
You think that's my beef? My racial demographic is under attack?
This young evening progresses.
I don't identify
who's watching the
racial
highly competitive, highly charged
title.
race in the state of Tennessee.
But how am I clueless? I really want to know. Tell me. Or is that it?
By the way, there are no candidates in this race where I'm like, yes. Closest thing to it would be Mr. Watered Down Bernie Sanders.
Mr. Sellout. All I know is Bernie promoted someone that has been basically kind of put out there in the open, Hillary Clinton, to be like extremely corrupt, you know.
Yeah.
WikiLeaks been connected to what? What was it? Well, she voted for what? The Iraq War. All right, just being trying to be specific here.
Yeah.
DNC. Anybody remember that? Matt Hunter, I'm waiting. I'll just wait for you.
Notably, they're not playing Taylor Swift at the Blackburn party tonight.
I'm waiting.
Thank you very much. My Nightline co-anchor. The question there: will the Swift lift be enough for Bredesen?
I'll just be waiting for.
Look at some other results that are coming in. These are some of the races we're watching.
Did you say Swift lift?
George mentioned this just a moment ago. This is the Indiana Senate race. The Democratic incumbent. Too early to make a projection here, but it looks like he's behind his Republican challenger. Also, we're watching the Florida governor race. So close. This is another one we'll be talking about all night. Back now to George.
This is straight up Sports Center, man. Bernie did buy a $600,000 house after endorsing Hillary. Well, what I look at it as, dude, as far as like what is the right thing to do, you know? And he talked about people being corrupt and why she shouldn't be in power. And then this dude endorses her, which basically means he doesn't really have a good stance on what the right thing to do is, you know? It's like, let's see. We cannot let this guy be in office. We need to vote her in right now. I'm like, aren't there, like, what? You can still vote for this other person over here, right?
Pointed out at the top of the broadcast here.
Independence?
Yeah.
But no, he goes with
He could have went third party easily.
He goes with Hillary Clinton, who is probably, what you said the other day, is probably the most, like, just straight up corrupt politician of all time. At least on the surface.
Most obvious
corrupt politician of all time.
But, oh yeah, it would have been political suicide for Bernie, but it would still be the right thing to do.
Some of these Democrats.
That's what this is about. It's about doing the right thing.
They would kill him for supporting like Jill Stein or something.
The Democrats have made the better argument.
It's about doing the right thing. It's about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Straight up. You gotta start at some point. You can't just continuously like, oh, we gotta just deal with this, okay? Yeah. Then in the future we'll get our guy in office. Like, no, you have to, at some point you have to start making the clear moral decision immediately from the jump.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't trust him.
And then just keep going about that and hope people follow.
And there's people saying that the guy.
They talk about donut counties, all these suburb counties around Indiana.
The DNC did fuck him over. Well, here's the other shit, too. Allegedly, he knew about it. He knew about that shit was happening. He didn't do anything to stop it. Yeah. That's why I'm, like, seriously not trusting this dude. I think him endorsing Hillary Clinton. And there's tons of shit tied to her. Tons. I think that should be enough. You just did a 180.
Things that are the antithesis to your argument. So
your
stance is the opposite of it.
He said, guys, we have to go with this. You know?
You killed her for it on the campaign. All those things you killed her for in the campaign trail.
Now you're endorsing.
Because she's better than Trump.
Let's see.
Also Syria.
Assad must go. Then Russian. The whole Russian meddling. It's like, dude, come on.
We need to stop the Russians.
That's why I'm like, fuck Bernie. Okay? I don't care if he runs as an independent. I don't care if he runs as a dragon. I don't give a fuck, dude. That guy, until he shows me something that proves that he can be trusted, for me, then, no.
He needs his first day of campaign, he needs to stop and explain why the fuck he did that.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Tell me why you did that.
I don't care if it takes 8 hours. Sit in front of a podium and explain it. You need a lunch break? Okay. Then you come back and we'll finish this.
Hey, Matt, I'm waiting. I didn't forget. How am I clueless?
And what do we see in the governor's race in Florida?
Just let me know if that's what you meant, then I'll stop.
Jump over there. Of course, Andrew Gillum. Let's see here. Back in the governor's
Every like 5 minutes or so, I'll ask until I get an answer.
Zoom in here. Really close to George DeSantis, barely on top, 90% reporting. But yeah, we're basically seeing the same map. We thought there'd be a lot of connections between Gillum and Nelson. It's almost exactly the same. Duval County, where DeSantis is actually from, Gillum's on top. You can see South Florida as well. It's the same thing. One good sign for Democrats that I'm seeing, they are picking up some of these blue counties, right? They're turning some of these counties blue in the I-4 corridor. Pinellas County, which is one of these bellwether counties we've been watching pretty closely. We know that Gillum's up there. 50 to 47. It's really, really close, though.
And George, very important point. 90% of Florida has reported, but only 51% of Broward County. That's a very solidly Democratic county down south.
If Gillum loses, people are going to be shitting on Jimmy Dore. They're going to be blaming him for a lot of shit.
Why?
The Sam Cedars and David Backmans are going to blame Jimmy Dore.
Why is that?
These guys and their purest principles.
That's purest principles?
That's what you're supposed to be moving towards, right? Like, you're supposed to be looking for the purest version of your ideas. Not some, I'll settle here,
No, there's no settling. No.
Yeah, I'll concede these ideas in order to win, so then I can go back later on and then change those.
There's no such thing as doing it like this. This does.
No, do it now.
This will never happen. I mean, my bad. This should never, ever happen. You should never say, listen, I want to do the right thing, but we have to break some eggs. It's like, no, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Now you don't belong here. Now get out. Come back when you're ready to join. I wish I could just have that clip on hand. Champions, you're not ready for that right now. Maybe someday you will be. Now get out of my house.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, I know it hasn't been like 5 minutes, but I know I'm still clueless, Matt. Tell me why. Fill me in.
There's another one. George Soros funded Gillum.
What does that? Yeah, what does that say?
Clinton, Obama.
Okay, now is it true?
That's why people are like.
Is it true that Soros funded? What's the right word for this? Specific groups in other countries, or to oppose regimes.
Ukraine, I think. Right?
I mean, throughout time.
The one that comes to mind is the Ukraine crisis thingy. I don't have enough detail on it.
I'm just curious. It's like I have a big influence, but I'm behind the scenes. Like that should be creepy whenever that guy gives out money like that.
Yeah. And you wonder why it's reported as news. Like,
yeah, absolutely. They both
guess who gave money to Gillum?
Yeah. To me, Florida is one
it instantly turns
Uncle
people.
George.
That's when people start turning away from the candidate.
Florida is such an important state every single year.
And that's on either spectrum, really.
Thanks very much.
Majority of those are guys that don't even believe in the political spectrum. The majority of that is of people that don't even buy into the political system. lean more towards the conspiracy. It's all controlled, man.
Well, hey.
They all seem.
And if you get into the philosophical realm of it all, is it not? What's a big proponent of this shit? Fear. Fear. Fear, fear, fear. I mean, specific. It's so specific. A lot of these guys talk the same. It's the same most of it every year. I'm still waiting, Matt. Talking points. But they rarely ever talk about what's going on outside. It's literally like a controlled play. Yeah. We're gonna cast who's gonna play, where the story's gonna go, the pace. Matt, don't throw stones and hide your hand, man.
As you mentioned, as a young
waiting
here on the East Coast, and so the polls are still open in the Midwest and out West. And so what we're seeing
Last
is
call.
that a number of people are still standing in line. They've been standing in line for hours. There have also been reports of people whose voting machines have been working. Some of the polling places, there were some technical issues. We'll get to that in just a moment, but let me take you to the board. Some candidates are still telling people to stay
Mama
on.
didn't tell anybody to.
This representative here, or this candidate
Throw stones.
representative in California, who says Charlie says go vote.
Oh shit!
What?
I told you, motherfuckers.
What?
That guy right there. There's Charlie.
O'Rourke is now up by 3.6% in Texas.
All I really care about is what are these guys going to do for the better of the people. Hey guys, are you like morally, you know,
Well,
you guys have
guy's-
strong morals? Are you guys corrupt? Are you guys ignorant to what's
This
going on?
guy's ideas sound more like a traditional Democrat rather than the what I think sound like silly or empty arguments.
Matt Hunter, you said I'm ignorant. I want to know why. Or is it? Were you just referencing my racial demographic is under attack? I'm just curious. I just want to know. Because sometimes I'll be vague, so that way people will. What do you mean?
Let's go to ABC's Steve Osunsami, who's covering one of the hottest races of the night. That's in Georgia, where Democrat Stacey Abrams is making a run at a seat. Her challenger, the Republican Secretary of State Brian Kemp.
Stacey
This is a race
Abrams.
that has brought in Donald Trump, and also on the other side, Barack Obama and Oprah Winfrey. Steve, the night is still young. But at this point, are you here?
Well, the exit polling that's come out has shown some advantage for Abrams in that more men are supporting Abrams than in previous elections, supporting the blue team. That is good news for...
They called it a team. Remember that.
But it's really too early to make any calls. Right now, the polls are just about
Oh, it's only 15%. About to say it's a blowout. It's over.
A couple polls in Gwinnett County
He's
saying openly there were some voting irregularities.
He's getting in his truck. He's getting ready. Dressed like a poacher. It's like, God, what a dick. Like, dude, he made a fucking commercial. Come on, man.
Steve Osunsami in Georgia, one of the hottest
That is
races.
incredibly close.
Steve, thank you. We'll be talking to you throughout the
Florida
evening.
governor is.
ABC News ace congressional correspondent Mary Bruce. So great to see you. You have spent so much of this midterm season in red states where Democrats are running. Can you just give us a little tour through what you've seen?
Yeah, sure. These are the states that are really going to determine.
I wish the website I'm looking at shows you the percentage of votes counted already. I'm not. All I'm seeing is just percentages people are up by.
Really neck and neck fight with Josh Hawley.
But they might not be counting.
Heidi Heitkamp is under a lot of scrutiny, especially
a large percentage of the fucking area.
Coming out and voting against the president's pick for the Supreme Court, and also in West Virginia, where Joe Manchin, a Democrat, could possibly hold on in a state.
Is it true they count prisoners like votes and shit?
State in all of the country, and it's
They do some weird shit.
That's on like a local level. Like, I believe the counties work like states do with the general election. So counties each hold a certain amount of power within their voting block. Right? Somewhere like New York City will hold like, let's say, 10 points, and Orange County would hold like 2 points because it's a smaller place or lower population. So what happened was, in Westchester, I believe
And yet,
well-to-do
Democrats
people.
are facing such tremendous advantages in the House, and that comes down
might have
to
asked to
the
have
Senate is going
a
to be
prison
won in
in
those
their
red
county
rural districts.
so that their population goes up, so that their votes count more than everyone else.
Whiter areas, well-educated. A lot of people looking at
My democracy nowadays, little things I remember here and there, where it's like I can't forget that point. Just to say that this happened. So
you forget that.
Many fascinating storylines. ABC's Mary Bruce.
I remember the UBS bank
Let's go back in the
during the financial crisis.
Some of us call it
They built up so many penalties, and they were like,
let's take a look at some of
they were being charged for it, like fines, somewhere in like the billions. So when the government bailed them out by giving them billions of dollars, they used that money that they were given to pay off their fine. I was like, wow, that's one of the most corrupt things I've ever seen. Can you imagine that? Like you get,
yeah, I can.
You build up like $10,000 in like parking tickets, but then something happens, your house burns down, and the government's like, here's $10,000, man. Your house burned down, we need to look out. Here's $40,000, man. And we know your house burned down, we're just looking out for you. Okay. Hey, you know what? I can finally pay back those fines. Those parking tickets, I can finally pay those back now. The money just came out of nowhere.
Behind closed
Here you
doors,
go.
they're like this.
State of Indiana, too early to make a projection, but the incumbent Democrat Joe Donnelly in this red state struggling against his Republican challenger Mike
That should be
Romney.
obvious of how things can be fixed. These guys did this like racket scheme.
They do it for them.
With the housing bubble.
The guys.
They literally bet on people failing.
Yeah.
And then we gave them trillions of dollars.
It's literally this.
Man.
Guys,
Did everybody forget that happened?
We can't afford it, but we can bail them out.
Did we forget that happened?
Imagine.
Iraq War, did we forget that too?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Say that number again?
What, trillions of dollars?
Trillions of dollars, right? 1 trillion. Or trillions, right? Okay. Imagine. Let's see. Is there a trillion people in America? No. I think everyone here could get like $1 million. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Everybody, you get $1 million.
Holy shit.
Have fun.
I never thought of that.
Looks like I'm the new. Oh, I'm the head of this now.
How come I never thought of that?
I've been thinking this for a while.
300 million Americans. You could literally just give everyone $1 million right now.
Yeah, there's probably more than 300 million, but
people, like a little over 300 million.
Alright, but yeah, if they gave trillions, it's like, let's see here. You know, I'm no Ivy League boy, but
I think there's more than $1 million to give out. They have to pull themselves up by the bootstraps.
They have to suffer. Like, dude, why don't
Must
you...
avoid the welfare state.
How about you go ice fishing with no clothes on? Have fun, Stephen.
You're from fucking Calgary. Shut
Look,
the
I mean,
fuck
you
up.
only have to win seats, and so far we have seen Democrats win
Look.
only 1 seat. It looks like they will do very well.
That's the kind of fans we want.
They're going to have to probably gain more seats than that to comfortably take the House. They're still slight favorites.
I'm telling you, dude, people just follow.
This is not the best case scenario for Democrats.
So far, they're not reaching into Republican territory.
Me too.
No, I mean, look, none of these seats have been called for
My
the
Wi-Fi
GOP.
ain't good down here. My Wi-Fi.
Toss-ups, they were lean and likely Republican seats. They were called pretty fast
Yo.
in some cases, which is not a great
Damn.
sign.
Look at that.
Yeah, I know. D.
24.
Before it was 2 and 3. I think it was.
Yeah.
2 and 3 chance. Now it's 5 and 9.
win some of those seats, and we're not seeing that
I
happen.
think.
And the race that we're really
Also,
watching,
they were talking about the Senate before.
bellwether, Kentucky, the Kentucky 6th congressional district, we had a really strong Democratic candidate.
Ooh.
Amy
92%
McGrath.
voted.
Who's the model for the Democrats. She is a veteran of former Marine Corps fighter pilot.
So?
She's had a very civil race. She's tried not to make it about Donald Trump. But
I don't
this
like
is
it
a
when
very
they...
tight race so far, and I'll have to watch that one.
She's not
Former fighter pilot? Okay, she was involved in the Army, so... What does that mean? Does that mean I'm supposed to feel any different than some guy who wasn't?
Oh, wow. Look at the Senate. 1 in 30. This is not looking good for Democrats. I could be wrong with reading the numbers wrong.
Chris Christie. Some point,
oh, openly corrupt fucking guy.
Yeah.
That didn't pay for any of his crimes. And you guys claim, like, I don't agree with the way they carry out justice, right? They just throw people in cages and shit.
And
No, that's not true justice.
I don't agree with that, but at the same time, they don't even follow them. It's like, what are you guys doing? You guys don't even follow these rules that you set up for yourself.
It's enough to support the herd.
Oh, they take certain faces and throw. They take what's his name?
At a 33% favorable rating, and he won.
The movie we were watching.
2/3 of the state view him
The best drummer in the world. What was that movie?
The best drummer in the world.
The fucking the guy who stole a shitload of money. Madoff. There you go. Like they had to put a face out there and say, "See, we caught the bad guy." What about these other guys who used the money that we gave them?
It's not like this
themselves.
It's not like this was a setup. Like they knew this was going to happen. Like, this was to be expected. Just like the economic crash of the 1920s.
It's like Floyd Mayweather made $100 million in one night. You tell me our 300 in one night?
I'm pretty sure he made at listen.
That guy counted taxes and things like that.
I'm pretty sure that guy has made at least $1 billion straight up. $1 billion. And then you got to count like what does he bet? He bets on himself and shit.
You tell me that the government can't afford that?
54% of independents in this country.
Exactly. Fuck out of here.
Candidates 41% for Republicans, and when you break down,
A-Rod signed a contract for $275 million.
That's over years, though.
Points, but look at this.
It wasn't just like one night. Here you go.
Actually, sir, one night, if you calculate it every day during the season, it's like, wow, that's a lot.
Matthew Dowd, those independents could
That's
be the
people's
difference.
yearly salary.
I remember when I was younger, I'm like, hey, where does A-Rod live? I want to see like where the richest baseball player like lived. Dude lived in a fucking town. It was a town.
One of the things that I'm fascinated by,
It was A-Rod town.
and we saw it in 2016, is this is a battle.
I swear, man. I was like, oh my god.
Hear Jimmy Dore's joke
What?
when he's like, you know what this guy's gonna pay? $33,000 a day to sit on a desk and talk for an hour. He's like, guys, I'm right here. I'll start shilling immediately. Give me the job. Want me to change my views? Give me that job.
That's funny. It's like, you're not getting that job. You suppose how much we get paid?
Yeah, you won't be able to help it. Is a fucking vein in his forehead would pop. Hillary's the best candidate ever. He'd die live on TV.
Nah, dude. What would happen was he'd start like shitting himself because he gets so angry.
He's trying to unseat Senator Ted Cruz to become the first Democrat to win that seat since '88. We knew it was going to be an uphill battle, not just because of those statistics, but also 1 in 3 Texans identify as evangelical, George, and we know that they typically go
They identify
to the
as
GOP and
evangelical.
to the Republicans. But,
Fucking told you guys.
I think the tides could be changing here. We saw the early voting numbers. Almost 5 million voted early. That's more than voted in total in 2014 in the midterms, and also over 500,000 registered to vote for the first time since March. We're hearing that the 18 to 39 demographic in that
For all the guys like Stephen Molyneux
demographics are flat
and Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens. Listen, Democrats are just abusing black people to get them to go vote for you. Like, listen, these guys are not dumb. There's a reason why Hillary lost, because the black vote did not come out for her. They didn't go out and vote for her. Why? She's one of the most corrupt candidates we've ever fucking seen. Okay, now you have the Beto O'Rourke guy. It's like, oh, he doesn't sound as corrupt. I'll go vote for him. It wasn't the celebrities that got him. They were like, oh, you see LeBron doing this? Jay-Z and Queen Bee? Come on. I think he just said shit that made sense to them.
Fuck. Changed the country in many ways. He has galvanized not just Texans, but people from all over the country have been pouring into Texas to help him out, to help him raise money, and to help him get out the vote. He is clearly somebody to look at for the future, and if he loses tonight, I still believe that we can have an upset. I know Matt disagrees with me, but I still believe he's someone that we can look at.
Smoke machine's broken, dude.
Cecilia Vega, what would change we saw in that relationship between President Trump and Ted Cruz?
Night and day. In fact, I go back to that campaign when President Trump was outstuffing Ted Cruz.
Thing isn't lagging.
They did the man half hug on the stage.
Hopefully.
He went from lying Ted to
Hey man, if I don't got any more smoke, man, I'll get some dry ice.
Close attention to. We know from people in the White House.
They won't know the difference.
If Beto O'Rourke were to win this race, Republicans around the country, particularly in this administration, would just have their heads in their hand. Yeah.
Sorry,
you're so right.
Joining us also tonight. You spent a lot of time down there in Texas.
Yeah, I'm from Texas, and I did a big story about Ted Cruz. And I just want to weigh in and say, like, although Beto is an amazing candidate, he's electrifying and all that, if it weren't for Ted Cruz, he wouldn't have a chance. People really loathe him. You know, I mean, he is the most hated man in the Senate. And voters in Texas, when I talk to them, he sort of
I think they'd still vote for that guy.
To say the base voters didn't like that he didn't endorse Trump at the convention. They still remember the booing.
I don't think that's the reason.
They feel like he wasn't loyal. And then the people who don't like President Trump don't like it because he sucked up to Trump. So
I think it's like, oh, this guy's like George Bush. We can't vote for him.
Fuck George.
So they're like, all right, we're just not going to vote this year.
She spoke to a lot of voters in Texas.
I did, and I've talked to them for years. And in 2016,
like, guys, you should do something. I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for everybody else.
He never voted for anybody but a Republican. He voted with his nose.
I need people who are not corrupt, not ignorant, or else they'll just shoot me. And that's that. And then someone's gonna take my name, and this is what he believed in. You know, then that's it for me. There it goes. The point is, if I get shot, then like that's it. At least there's other people ready. I don't want there to be nobody. And 50 years later, someone else is saying the same shit I'm saying.
And I can tell you that the law enforcement community
I don't want to get killed right away. If I have a team, not a team, a group of people that know what the right thing to do.
Look, this is Ted Cruz went from being lying Ted to being beautiful Ted. I mean, it was just an amazing transformation.
Dude,
and Donald Trump had to campaign.
It's amazing how some people really think this shit's like, this shit's legitimate.
To campaign for the Republican Senate
it's amazing.
Matthew, Dad, you live in Austin, Texas. Is Texas really changing that quickly, though?
Well,
does Texas still have poor people? Is the war on drugs still going on?
What's so funny is that if one side gains ground, the other one can just dismantle it the following election.
What Beto Cruz might have done, even if he falls short in this
That's why you vote ideas, not fucking people.
Is that he might have
they don't know what ideas are. They think values are tax cuts.
The fact that we haven't
Jordan.
called Texas at this
They
point,
think values are tax
we
cuts.
haven't called Texas at 1 minute after for 30 years.
And you're seeing that.
Good luck with poetry.
As well, and maybe in Georgia as well.
Oh, what do you think of this What do you think of this poem? Well, clearly they're talking about the black vote.
You know,
So you guys are hopeless, aren't you?
that haven't quite changed.
Clearly they're talking about the Republicans being enraged here. You know, it's like,
In those states,
did you guys ever have fun?
Have moved those states.
Like,
I'm just amazed.
I guess so. Like, you know, deep down, it's like, do you guys really believe you're doing the right thing? Like seriously, there has to be some sort of ignorance, empty feeling. There's no way. I just don't get how you can be involved in politics and not be aware of the people taken advantage of. Well, that's just the way it is. Like, how does this not creep you out? Do you hear the sports shit? Look at this. Election night, you don't get them talk. Like, imagine Ted Cruz with a football going like this. Just juking people left and right. And Chris Christie just stops him because he gets absorbed into his belly. Just absorbs him, stops him. No offense. Just saying. Unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Democrats looking to gain 20.
What's helping him? His lack of conscience.
Democrats need to pick up 2 in order to control the Senate, but at this point, the Republicans have picked up 1. So it continues to be a steep climb with the Democrats. Let's take a look at the House. They need 23 seats to control the House. At this point, they have a net gain of 1. I'm not sure we have that graphic, but that is where things stand right now. Let's take a look at Indiana, and ABC News is projecting a significant loss for the Democrats. The Democratic incumbent in the state of Indiana, Joe Donnelly, has lost, according to ABC News projections, to Republican challenger Mike Braun. This will be a body blow to the Democratic Party as they try.
This will be a body blow to Democrats.
It will be an uphill battle to retake the Senate. This is only going to make that fight harder.
You know, it really makes me think no one's talking about any of this shit I want to hear about. Let's see, healthcare for all, living wage, specific things on the war on drugs.
Indiana, North Carolina, Texas, and Alabama again. Georgia,
It's just
Illinois, Indiana, North Carolina, Texas, and Alabama. They have extended voting. One of the hashtags that is trending as we speak is "Stay Online."
Like, what am I supposed to do? Go vote for the lesser evil?
Online right now.
That's highly irresponsible.
And the polls close.
That's what.
You can still vote if you are
It's like, listen, you can either take the dick up your ass or in your mouth. No.
That was literally in the Democrat advertisement I saw.
What?
Don't worry about voting lesser of two evils. Like that was part of their advertisement.
What? You find it?
They showed like youths dancing and shit.
Find it.
Huh?
Please?
I can't play on here.
Oh, it's not. It ain't happening.
I'll play on them. Chris P says Yemen.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! No one cares about Yemen.
I give a fuck about Yemen.
It's all about. It's all about lowering taxes.
Chris P. They have not talked about Yemen.
And the free market.
Syria. And, Afghanistan. Iraq.
No one cares about that. It's about having a fucking wall.
Just because you said it, that means I believe it now. Build that wall. Build that.
It's about having more women in office.
More
minorities in office.
More of the first things ever.
And we just pretend war doesn't exist.
Exactly.
He was there yesterday. The president worked as hard as any state in Indiana.
With the exit poll show.
Yeah, Crispy. No one talks about it. Everyone ignores it.
Look at this.
The illegal war is happening.
Donald Trump, but to get to the Kavanaugh point that John
By the way, wars are immoral. So I don't give a fuck if they're legal or not.
War is a war crime. It is official.
Said his vote against Brett Kavanaugh was important, but you have to think Joe Donnelly is
murdering yourself,
splitting wood, trying to point out to voters in Indiana how often he split with his own party, George, to support President Trump on the border wall, on defense spending, traveling across the state in his RV and his flannel, but it was not enough to convince those Trump voters in Indiana that he was their guy.
Meghan McCain, we also saw that Heidi Heitkamp in North Dakota and the results there. Yeah, but these states are deep red.
Yeah, you see so many Democrats not only running against Republicans, but running against their own party as well. I think of Claire McCaskill coming out saying she's not one of those crazy Democrats. With Donnelly in particular, he was very Trumpy. He defended ICE. He came out in his rhetoric in a very similar style to President Trump. So you see so many people, and I would put Kristen Sinema in this category, Democrats that are not just running, in my home state of Arizona, they're not just running against Republicans, but running against their own party as well. The part of the party that doesn't want to become the party of Bernie Sanders and the party of socialism.
Or you could say that the Democratic Party is big enough to hold people that are moderate and truly progressive, whereas the Republican Party has become a party that can't really accept moderates anymore.
Well, Mike Braun just won.
The what?
So,
That's 6 years ago when Joe Donnelly won. He won against one of the most.
Oh, they leaned right on war policies. I don't see how they're moderate at all.
And doing outlandish things. And so Joe Donnelly was a guy who knew he was behind all the way for his 6 years. And this is an impossible state for him to win with a candidate who's not flawed and Braun's not flawed.
And Mike Pence is the vice president of the United States. The election apparatus, of course, favored the Republicans. I still believe that Joe Donnelly ran the best possible campaign to be able to stay competitive.
Big win for Mike Pence.
It is a big win for Mike Pence. We have another change in the House. This is coming from the state of Florida. Donna Shalala, Democrat Donna Shalala, former HHS Secretary under President Clinton, has defeated Maria Salazar in Miami. This is the second pickup of the night for the Democrats. Nate Silver, do you have any sense of what this does to your forecast?
So this was kind of a layup for Democrats. It's a race they should have won, and they have won it, and they're winning the low-hanging fruit.
They haven't won any really tough.
I was just at AutoZone yesterday.
Kentucky 6, for example. In our House forecast, so we haven't really seen
I did a diagnostic on my car.
Democrats are favored to win
this
the
girl,
House.
a co-worker, walked by.
7 favorites, but that's quite a bit down. They need to win more of the toss-up races outside.
Bitches out here love the southern accent. From Florida, man. I was like, oh, that's funny. That's hilarious. I'm glad you're the guy working on my car. You looked around, like, it's like he just got off of work or something. He's off work hours now. Yeah. He's like, oh, I could talk to this guy.
It's like, I'm glad.
But also heavily Latino, and Donald Trump doesn't speak any Spanish, and that became sort of a bit of an issue in this
Can you
race.
guys
Debated, and she said she wouldn't speak
turn
Spanish
to Fox News?
But again, Hillary Clinton publicly campaigned for her there, and it seems to have.
Why? Is it because they're less biased, or because they're? I bet if we watch 2 different channels, they're projecting 2 different things, probably simultaneously.
You know what's so interesting, George? Is
yeah, I don't mind.
Here has not gotten to the information just yet. We've been watching them applaud or be reserved at times as the votes have been coming.
Going to have greasy Gavin Newsom as our governor makes me physically ill. Talked about it earlier, but when we say we're going to lose the House, would have been nice if we had held both. Yeah, but at the end of the day,
it's
as
a
we
character.
said earlier, if we lose the House, it's not like this is the Democrats are going to claim some kind of a huge victory. But unless the numbers are sweeping, it's kind of just par for the course.
I agree with you. I think unless the numbers are sweeping,
she ain't my girl.
This argument that we know is going to come from the New York Times tomorrow morning. This is a rejection.
Look at you Republicans watching Fox News.
Will last about a week.
Look at some of the comments on Facebook, and a lot of the fans are still saying that it's too
She's a character, man.
To call this.
You know what? They are right to criticize us. We're going on the basis of trends.
And a lot of...
Is this the right one, Chris?
Chris P.
I don't see enough ESPN like analysis coming.
Their desk is smaller. That's it? All you guys have is a foam finger?
The president have been talking more about the tax cuts and less about immigration in the rallies that he had.
No, because this president, although
is this some
he
sort
did
of
talk a
meltdown
fair share about the economy and the tax cuts, which I think is important, but this president did what no other Republican has ever been able to do, and that's to really fire people up about the issues that for too long traditional Republicans have ignored.
Just like Sansa Stark.
This president doesn't do that.
No, she doesn't. Yes, she does. She color her hair red.
No.
Lady of the North.
The absence of gun control.
That's
I
her.
did not hear that.
It's a finger. Don't touch me.
Why? Because
do you deny it?
The way he pulled out his cape, like.
So I think
I beg of you.
You know, it's also you talk about abortion.
Little finger, remember?
Yeah, even though it's 48, million lives.
She does not look like her.
Yeah, she does.
No.
She looks like Sansa Stark with blonde hair.
She don't.
American history.
You don't get it, son.
In Las Vegas. You were on the stage when this happened.
Yeah, keep breathing.
Wow.
Are they reading the results or are they just talking? Might be another one
No,
that's
which is
better.
why I then gunned up, and now I'm a proud, supporter of the Second Amendment and love my gun.
I want to see constant results. If I don't see them, I'm leaving Fox News forever.
Chris P., what happened?
In Pittsburgh, he said, what's wrong with armed guards? Not cops wearing uniforms, but people in business suits like this who are off-duty or retired but well-trained police officers, like almost every building in this part of New York City has, which keep you comfortable and safe and, God forbid, are there if a crisis comes. What's wrong with that? Why does the left go crazy when he suggests...
Because they don't like the idea of guns, just in general. Mostly because they don't understand guns, they don't own guns, they've never shot a gun, never bought a gun. So it's foreign to them. They're
Hillary Clinton
there we
was
go.
protected and still did.
My volume. Where's fucking volume at?
Are you guys from Cali? The Walking Monkey? Well, I'm not. That's all I'm going to say, because someone's going to cry.
We're from California on planet Zuzu.
I'm not. I don't even sound like I'm from California.
How come I'm not getting sound, Jay?
Does it sound like we're from
Is that me
Cali?
or them? It's not the TV, right?
seems that your
is there sound playing? Let's find out.
Your punk ass bitch ways have destroyed the audio. How does it feel? How does it feel?
Fuck it, we're going to NBC.
Wait. If I say I'm from Cali, will that get you to give me a thumbs up? Because if so, I'm not. Announcing the starting lineup. That's that music.
It's getting close.
It's like a board game, I swear. You know what I mean? What's this called? Sorry, right?
Yeah. Looks like Cruz is taking the lead in Texas. I only have one person that I predicted, and that was Beto O'Rourke in Texas.
Beta?
According to my chart, he's down by 1.4%. Yes.
You know what? I really love it. It's like they just all did like a physical task they had to run. Do it. Suffer for greatness. Just curious. I'm from Cali. I'm going for John Cox.
I have no idea who that is. Is that a House or Senate? Particular district?
Ruben Garcia.
What do you guys think about?
Give me a thumbs up. I didn't ask for it. I didn't.
He shilled you into that. What do you guys think about the current midterms? Well, I really hate the idea of voting for people because people bring baggage with them, right? You may agree on certain issues, but they may bring a swell of other issues with them that you may not agree with.
Sure.
Or maybe you're even just impartial to it, and you have no idea that this person's working towards this thing without you even knowing about it.
And you really can't do, seemingly, you really can't do shit and they could just lie to you.
So I like the idea of voting for ideas, which does happen in certain cases. I think in California they're voting for a state bank rather than having like Citibank and fucking Chase, JP Morgan, all that shit.
It's being presented this like false,
or the porn law.
Yeah, this false narrative that, well, guys, it's either or. You get that dick in your mouth or your ass. Which one? Like, hey, dude, there's more choices over here. Like, I can go free over here. I can walk without getting harassed.
Yeah.
You know?
And then once you have an idea that's really splitting, like the idea that's splitting the votes and shit, that's when you can like work in detail on those ideas. And obviously everything should be debated so that everyone has a full understanding of it before they cast a vote for something.
Ruben Garcia is a loyal supporter.
Ruben.
It is not a total blowout on the part of Democrats.
I would do
I can't imagine this thing going
his own hand signal, but they look kind of suspect.
Do it.
So I'm not
Fuck
gonna do
it.
it.
I'd have taken the over.
I was gonna do the high school cheerleader thing.
At this point, I think we're looking at somewhere.
That's better than mine.
20
I'll take it.
seats, which
Oh,
is why we're only at
Chuck Todd.
65%.
No, you mean he looks like a fucking Chuck Todd. Look at it. It's like when he was born, she was his mom was like Chuck Todd.
Chuck Todd.
Like if he ever got like physically disciplined, he'd be like, get off the coffee table, Chuck Todd.
Also, losers get mad.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm expecting riots if the Democrats lose.
Oh.
That's the estimates coming from MSNBC. I don't take them to with enough weight.
The walking monkey? Like other monkeys don't walk?
He walks. I have nothing.
No, he walks alone, turns his like fedora like sideways, starts walking away from an explosion or something like that.
Yeah.
He's going for governor. His hair. Fuck. Violation. Are you violating Chuck Todd? if it was me, I'd either go for the Tessarian, but you got to get an earring, or I'd let it go because holding on to something like that, it's like nostalgia. I have 3 hairs up here. See, I'm holding on. Or if you just don't give a fuck, I respect that as well.
Well, you just gotta tell him to not. You know, dude. Hey Chuck, stop bringing up.
No, you gotta call him Chuck Todd.
Hey, Chuck Todd. Stop bringing up Russia into every fucking thing that happens. Starving kids.
So you're saying he's basically a Chad. Dude, it's fucked up. Names become insults. It's fucked up, ain't it? It's like, hey man, you're being a real Chad. It's like, damn, can't name your kid Chad anymore. Fuck.
Menendez has been in the Senate election. Menendez is the winner in New Jersey.
Jersey.
Bernie Sanders basically just won Vermont. No problem.
Fuck Bernie Sanders.
Maine right now. A third party is in the lead in Maine.
WADA?
WADA?
WADA.
Dick Pound? Dick Pound.
Socks.
That's the thing. That's the thing I would like to see the most. And what might actually cause even more riots is if third parties started winning states. It's not going to happen, but, you know.
Unless Chuck Todd does something about it. There should be a superhero named Chuck Todd. But there's like no space in between. It's just one word. Every time he blasts like an energy beam, he says Chuck Todd. But he always asks you a question before he saves you or stops the evil, you know. He's like, you know why you won't rob this bank today? Why? Because I'm Chuck Todd.
Florida is Republicans are racking up in Florida in the House race. They have what? Four seats won already. Democrats have won 27th district. What the freak? That guy? That's not real. That can't be real.
Come on, man.
He looks like he was sprayed with like the Joker's gas.
Looks like someone threw $1 billion in his face and said, "Take it, bitch. Take it."
I don't know. I'm about to go back to ABC. There's like nothing going on. Definitely not watching fucking.
Ruben Garcia. At least you guys are informed about current events. My stupid family just literally doesn't care about issues enough to know who anyone in office right now are. To be fair, Ruben Garcia, I am not. I mean, it's surprising, I know. I'm not that informed on names or specific people, but what I do care about is the outcome. And I pay attention to what happens before and after people are in office.
Ideas are the thing.
Yeah, ideas.
Turn it down just a little bit.
So instead of, you know, your family could be ignorant.
A lot of people got lives to get to, which is why they don't focus so much on this, but I bet if it was like, okay, if we move this way, it'll be less about work and more about what's the right thing to do here.
Yeah, that's what I want.
More focus on that. Until there's a point where it's like, dude, if you want to just retire now at 35 and try to become a painter, that's available to you. I would say we're years away from that since we're still stuck in the two-party dichotomy.
Honestly, it could happen next year.
We don't have the money for that.
That's what I'm saying.
Where are you going to get the money at?
My relatives are the people who still watch modern MTV.
I have no idea what's on MTV. Is MTV just like reality shows now?
Yes!
Who was saying that MTV used to be like music?
Gary Nash.
Yeah.
They don't even have Silent Library anymore.
What a world! There's always VH1. Oh wait, are they doing the same thing? It's almost like they're both owned by Viacom or something. It's trash.
And my parents watch mainstream news. That's right. I pack a pistol in my purse. You see that bulge in my purse? It's called being deadly. TJ Maxx. Imagine she gets up on the podium and she just goes. Everyone's like. She goes like this. This is her campaign logo.
Some crappy comedy show with Nick Cannon is what is always played on MTV. They also watch all the creepy shows from TLC and Modern Discovery Channel. My mom watches all the fucking like flipping houses and all that shit. I'm like, fuck, man. There's probably a guy down the street right now, like sleeping next to a sewer, and these guys are are paying to flip someone's house around. It's like, come on, guys. Let's get certain things right first, and then you'll get the spoils later. But you have to start at some point. You can't say, well, not in my lifetime. You got to start now. It's just... Right. Righteousness is not on a fucking timetable.
He said he was disgusted in both parties by what he saw play out in Capitol Hill. But look in Tennessee, this is what he was up against. He was up against a state where so many people like what they're seeing from President Trump. 57% of the voters in Tennessee approve of the job performance. Was he a factor in your vote? Look at this. 38% say they support Trump, 26% say they oppose him. You break it down.
This is like the fucking Super Bowl, man. Or Olympics or something.
He tried to push protecting
fucking stats everywhere.
That didn't necessarily work for him, but look at this. This is the most telling number out of the exit poll so far in Tennessee. They actually like...
War is not an issue on their top.
The problem is, George, they like Donald Trump.
Whatever.
It's true, and John, you're hearing actually from Donald
Healthcare, economy, guns, immigrants. Say, well, maybe war creates immigrants. There's one. Economy. Well, we spend a shitload of money on the military. Healthcare, we can afford to pay for free healthcare for everyone if we didn't spend so much on the military. And maybe there'd be less gun owners if they're not worried about people we already bombed first coming over here and bombing us. Vicious cycle, my friends. My relatives watch that crap too. I feel for you, Ruben. I feel for you, man. Crispy, I watched every show. Of what? MTV, TLC. Teachers' pensions invest billions in Lockheed Martin. Exactly. Exactly, and it's not like that money's going to them and looping back around to us, right? It's not the government funding itself to do something, right? We're not making the weaponry. We're sending money to a private public corporation, and then they're the ones that are profiting a shitload of money. And we have to upgrade models every year, of course, right? That brand new plane doesn't work a year later. You need to spend another $1 billion on a brand new super modern model of whatever airplane they're using, and fucking Predator drones and all this shit.
Absolutely had to hold. Also, by the way, that is definitely Donald Trump's best Democratic friend in the United States Senate. Both a good personal relationship and supported him, and also the one and only Democrat who voted.
It's like people forgot this shit, man. It's like the George Bush era didn't happen in a lot of people's minds. It's like, it's like, oh, Obama won, it's over. Now when we cycle back through with the same old shit going on, all they have to argue with is identity politics with no weight behind it at all. Ruben says, I honestly didn't like MTV back then either, but there's literally nothing of value with the channel today. I think the only time I watched MTV was when I was like a little kid, and they had like the top 10 videos, but I stopped watching because they only played like, they'd play like half of the fucking song. They'd play only half of the song, and that was around the time like Napster and shit came out, so you could just download music instead of having to watch it or record it through TV.
Fuck. So, I only watched it for Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, there are shows like that. I watched Daria and Beavis and Butthead. Six Sad World. Might be too old for you guys.
My relatives don't know that the country of Yemen exists.
That's a lot of people. And I'm
about to recommend our previous video to my parents.
And what's weird is that it's like two different worlds. Because I remember being very politically ignorant, like wanting nothing to do with it. And then when I got into it, it's like, holy shit. There's like a whole world going on that I had no idea existed. For me, it was just whatever was going on locally is the only thing I understood.
Oh, I got thrown into that whole thing. That wasn't fun. What's the left and right? Well, James, you see, it's really confusing, you see. I'm like, oh, this is on purpose.
It was fucking exciting for me. Watching, like, Bowling for Columbine 3 times in a row.
Ruben Garcia.
We're just like, this is interesting.
Of course, Manchin is the most likely to win. Fuck.
Yeah. I was just looking at this shit.
Matt Hunter, name a conflict between whites and non-whites.
He's up 6.5%.
Where you supported the whites. Why is it about race? I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Name a conflict between whites and non-whites where you supported the whites.
This might be directed towards me. I don't know.
Well, wait, you mean like in a war or something? I don't support any side in war.
I don't. Yeah. Oh, he says a conflict. A conflict between whites and non-whites where you support, like...
If you're going to ask me...
I don't think that exists.
If you're going to ask me whose ideas are better, the Americans or, like, Wahhabis who just want, you know, behead women for driving cars and shit like that, I'll say, but those aren't white guys. That's America. Alright? There's all different colors in that group. I don't know, man. Do you mean war, or do you mean like an idea?
Matt, you gotta, Matt, your question is whack. Just letting you know.
Do you mean a white guy saying all lives matter versus a black guy saying black lives matter? I support the white guy in that scenario, as far as that idea.
Yeah, but I don't go by.
Yeah.
I don't go by this whole thing.
That's why it's hard for us to tell
between the whites and the non-whites. We supported the whites.
We were never thinking about it. That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard to find out what you mean.
I didn't know that was important, Matt. I don't. You know. I mean, maybe it's telling that you pay attention to who's white or who's blue or who's.
Yeah. Try to look at ideas before. Yeah. Whatever. O'Rourke back up 1.6% in Texas. I have no idea how far along they are.
Matt, don't stutter. It's okay. I heard how all the my bad, Ruben Garcia. I heard all the Democrats. My bad. I meant how all the Democrats. Manchin is the most pro-establishment.
And he's up right now.
33% said they turned out to oppose. But look at that, 43% fully said Trump not a factor. You break down by issues.
I fucking hate politics.
I hate the way people teach lifting. Look at this. That's ugly. It's ugly. Not liking that.
How much weight was it?
225?
But there are some good signs in there for Rick Scott and for people who were concerned about Donald Trump being attached to them. Cecilia said Rick Scott tried to separate himself.
Are you really gonna have time to get like that if it's really heavy? Are you gonna have time to jump out that far?
No, you can jump. You can spread your feet out.
That far though? He jumped and went out.
Shoulder width out here.
He went further than that.
It's whack
so I'm
form.
like, you're gonna have time to do
it's
that
whack form.
with like 250 pounds or whatever it is.
Can't think of one, huh? Hey Matt, how about you debate us? I'm just.
Beto pulls mask off. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
So you think he's, you know, masquerading as a, you know, progressive, but he's really just a same old lukewarm Democrat. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. I just feel like a sports fan gambling.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I bet he wins.
We can't think of one, Matt, because we don't look at that stuff as something that's important. Well, he's white.
No, I can come up with one. You just got to tell me which scenario. Do you mean war? Or what?
He said a conflict, and I'm thinking of some sort of specific, like, event. The white people.
Like a military conflict.
I don't look at them as, I just like, oh, people. They're people. That's it. That's what I look at them as, people. If you say Americans...
If you go to war, there is no righteous side.
No. If there's a conflict, like
either you have to enforce your ideas, which is authoritarian.
In the House right now, the Democrats need to take
it's
23 seats. They need a
really
net gain of 23 seats.
So if it's just a conflict of ideas, then yeah, I just said a couple.
Early state in the evening, they
Enjoy.
picked up 2 seats. Things are still early in the game.
I'm not supporter of any like side of war. You know.
This is a big night for social media.
It's simple as that.
Well, no idea ever gets through if it's done by force.
No.
Straight up.
That's just stomping on someone else's ideas.
That was our abortion argument. Right? You're taking away a person's right to make a righteous decision by enforcing it that you are strictly not allowed to have abortions. It should be their choice to not have an abortion. It has to be their choice, otherwise there's no moral ground being gained. It's just more authority. And you know the dum-dums are going to go down to the fucking, down some fucking back alley, use a clothes hanger or some shit, have someone punch them. It's like, come on, man. Come on, Ben.
So yeah.
Call that number right there, hashtag bring it on. Moving on, to show you Beto O'Rourke, also in a tight race with Senator Ted Cruz.
You see the traps and everything, how inactive they are.
So a number of candidates out there who are in
watch if he goes forward, so.
To stay in line.
Stay in line, the trending hashtag tonight. Kenneth Mo
it's just whack. It's whack.
During the course of the evening, as we said.
Let's do it this way. In the Vietnam conflict, whose side do you have the most empathy for? It's all wrong. That's as simple as that. There's victims everywhere. I don't understand.
It's all wrong, but one side did invade the other, based on communism. Correct? Vietnam? You said Vietnam, right?
Yeah.
Weren't they like, didn't the world's most powerful army go after like farmers and shit? I don't know enough.
All I'm saying is, it appears to me that
either way,
it looks like the U.S. government had a prolonged war with no real vision of ending it.
And there was no uniformed identity other than, or uniformed race other than the Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, yeah.
There's plenty of different ethnicities on the American side.
Yeah.
Right. So my father was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
There you go. So I don't see that as white, whatever.
But again, I don't. Yeah, whose side do you have the most empathy for? I think you get empathy confused with me saying, okay, let's see, a government goes after this thing over here, versus empathy. I have empathy for anybody, any victim, anybody, man.
Abrams, right? I think if Beto and Stacey wins, the Republican Party is dead forever. I don't know about that. Stacey Abrams, correct? The Georgia. That's the governor. Scusi. See, here's the thing. Let's say they're both like strictly progressive. They would end up having to fight their own party to get things done. Let's say they were going on the righteous side of things. They still have all these other party members. So they'd be fighting the Democrats and the Republicans. They'd be doing something similar to like a Bernie Sanders or a Tulsi Gabbard, where you have to fight your own party and the Republicans. So.
In the European conquest of America, whose side do you have the most empathy for? Well, it's odd, dude, because there's victims on both sides. My empathy is... How am I going to word this carefully?
While you do that, right now Abrams is down 62% to 36%, but only 25% have reported, so you got a while to go there for the Georgia governor race.
My empathy is for the victims. My empathy is those who thought war was the righteous way of settling something like that.
Already secured Pennsylvania. I think that Iowa is an open state. I think that's where the Democrats, if they had
the European conquest of America, whose side do you have the most empathy for? Well, first of all, the empathy goes all around to everyone, right?
There's no. You
have people escaping shit, and you have people just sitting there, and now they're confronted with shit. But they both want the same thing, should be sovereignty, correct?
Yeah. Oh, this is good. Hold on. In the Iraq War, whose side do you have more empathy for? So the Iraq War is basically a lie.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which Iraq War? Because the first one has implications in the second one. 100% sure with that. And like I said, it'd be empathy for all sides around.
Every time I say debate, it never gets answered.
The women are turning out, I think men.
It's odd, because every time, it's like the same shit.
Well, you need context, right, with that. The US funding proxy wars against Russia, or Soviet Union, or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So we basically, we helped get the radical Muslims started.
Ooh, it's in caps, either one. Oh boy.
Well, the first one was with where we lied ourselves in with the incubator babies.
The babies are taken out of the incubators. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So we lied our way into that one. So
that was a conspiracy.
All these are going to have empathy for normal people, but when you look at governments, you have a fucking creeper Saddam Hussein, you have a creeper George Bush, you have a creeper George W. Bush. So the governments usually end up being the creepers in all of this.
So again, my empathy goes out to the ones who are ignorant, the ones who are corrupt, and the innocents. And you're probably not going to like that because you're probably looking for something else. But maybe you don't understand empathy, Matt Hunter.
Ooh, smoke.
Just tell me one conflict where you have more empathy for people of the whiter skin over the people with the darkest... Like, dude. Do you know how ignorant you sound right now?
I would say South African. Well, like, because people are dumb. Let's be honest here. People are dumb. And when they're like, we need our freedom back, they might rush to violence. That's with all races. That's happened with all races throughout time.
You can't even say you have more empathy for this, like, because it's basically, look, it's people, and the fact what they look like is relative, you know.
Yeah.
It just, like, is this some sort of like, I don't understand what you're going after. Why is that important? It's people, dude. I don't understand. Unless you really believe in that whole... What's his name?
Races at this point that people are watching so closely because it is so close.
The whole Jared Taylor thing, I don't...
In the state of Florida, which always seems to get a lot of attention.
I don't see what you're going to get from that.
2 years. And ABC's Whit Johnson, my co-anchor on Weekend GMA, is right there in Tallahassee watching both the governor's race and the Senate race. Whit, what are you hearing and seeing?
Well, Dan, if there is any concern here at Gillum headquarters about the early returns and not enough votes for their candidate, you wouldn't know it. It truly is a party here at Florida A&M University. People are cheering when they see some of the results come up on the TV screen.
Do you hear the music? I'm happy. Oh, that's creepy.
That's incredibly close. You should have stayed progressive.
You get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah. Empathy goes all around.
And there's no, well, you get more. I'm like, no, man. It's like love, too. So you get more love. You know? Like, dude, the love that's expressed is equal. And those who don't believe that may not really know what love is. Same thing with empathy.
Republican gubernatorial candidate Ron DeSantis. Compare that to Andrew Gillum, who's been pushing more of a Bernie Sanders type Medicare for all message. And when we've been
pushed, or
when he says
currently
type.
Oh,
Bernie Sanders type.
That's just like wordplay right there. You know?
And yeah.
What does that mean, man? Either what does that guy really represent? You won't say it.
That's his winning ticket, is the Medicare for all statement. But
changed it, right?
Who knows if he'll follow up on that.
One thing that I'd like to see here more as we get information is the Democrats.
It's just like what you say. Even
but the other guy's definitely not going with Medicare for all.
The corrupt people, right?
Yeah.
They're neutral as well.
Yeah.
So that's why.
What do you mean by neutral? Like innocent, ignorant people?
It's from a point of ignorance where they really have no idea what they're really doing. And when they finally figure it out, that's when it all fucking falls down. They're like, what have I done?
Yeah. Well, they'd have to feel it.
Great job. Thank you very much. We brought in a ringer.
Eventually.
For a little analysis on this very
Eventually.
My ABC News colleague, Megan McCain. Great to see you. Happy election day.
That's sad.
I know, that's so high, actually. It is like the Super Bowl.
Chris.
I'm nostalgic this morning. It's my first election day without my dad.
Chris P.
Is everything okay back there?
Oh,
Chris P. Shame.
How dare you?
Shame.
This is the first election day.
And I was very nostalgic this morning. And
shame on you, Chris.
I put a picture up on my Twitter of my dad taking me to the polls when I'm 15 days old, and it's just weird. And
Chris P, you might be the next one to be floating in a van down by the river.
I think everyone should take a pause, no matter where you're from, and just know that we live in such an incredible country where we have control over our future right before our eyes. And I think it's important to remember tonight.
100% agree, and that's why people love wearing those I voted stickers. And I know a lot of
Fuck
Americans.
Barletta and yeah.
Months at this point.
Chris P packs a 45 in his purse, man. Been jealous?
I'm so sorry, sir. Is everything
You've been jealous.
Yes, we're having a little bit of camera issues.
That's the NAACP here.
NAACP.
He's jealous.
Jelly?
How beautiful is this studio?
Let me ask you, as somebody who grew up in a staunchly Republican family, how do you feel the Republicans are doing thus far? I know it's early, but how do you think they're doing
Much
thus far?
better than expected. I'm really surprised by the Marsha Blackburn as high up as she is right now. It looks like around 30 points.
Cuomo just wrecked
this
this fucking
It just shows the Tennessee race. It just shows the power of Trump. She is full Trump. She's one of the first women to come out and support Trump. She goes to the White House often. She goes on the campaign trail with him often. Her rhetoric is very Trumpian in nature, and it's supposed to be neck and neck, and she's 30 points ahead. So right now, the blue wave, if I were
Red is socialist.
I implore Democrats to show prudence before tonight anyway.
Is she?
But it looks like the blue wave may be
I'm all for good ideas.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, I think good ideas from either side are going to be grouped together. Then it's like, what are you going to call it now? You know, everybody. I'm sure everybody would love to have free health care, a living wage. I could keep going. You know. Then if you want to make more money, then there's jobs out there. But you have a living wage. So if you didn't want to do shit, you could.
She's one of the first people to pass legislation to make sure that women were
should find out that number. See if all Americans could actually get $1 million.
Probably not.
No,
not cash at least.
You know what I mean. Yeah, everybody gets in line for a card. Really?
Thank you very much. You can head this way. Come back up later on.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. Let's go back inside.
No, that was real genuine. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it. All right, now I'm done talking.
That would almost work economically too. If you gave everyone $1 million. Because
it would be incredibly.
In a free market sense of the word, they would redistribute it, right? They'd all pick out their favorite banks. People would individually pick out their favorite banks. Like, oh, I'm storing my money here.
Well, here's the shit. It'd be. I don't want to sound like a creepy, observer, but it's more of a we'll fucking see what happens, you know. From a philosophical point of view, what would you all do if you had $1 million?
If I had $1 million.
Imagine everyone like, you know, food prices go up. Like one loaf of bread, like fucking like $100 now. Well, you want to play this game, or we will. We will. Terrorists destroy food supply. Price of food goes up.
Democrats so far have picked up 2 seats.
Dude, this is Sports Center. That looks like a Photoshop picture. Carlos. See that? It looks Photoshopped, dude. It just does, man.
Look, Democrats put a lot of resources in this race. The night is still young, George. And
I admitted to cheating Bernie Sanders.
Is everyone free yet?
I wrote a book about it.
Mrs. Legitimate? How the fuck is she there? Everybody has a short memory. You know? Now, it's one thing if she redeemed herself. You know? I'm all for that. But it doesn't look like it here. It's like, oh, you're back.
Retired Navy commander, but she is running against the incumbent, who is a retired Navy SEAL.
How much longer you want to keep going?
So got kind of the battle of the Navy going there.
Oh, you got something to do?
She's an engineer.
Sleep?
She's very smart woman, but it's unclear.
It's only 9:30, man.
I'm just curious.
On a kind of a mini scandal with Scott Taylor about some signatures.
I'm doing good, man.
You haven't even heard like any results.
Oh, it's weird.
Maybe one.
One fun fact
This is how the 24-hour news thing works, man. They just keep putting out shit to talk about until something happens.
Now she's doing fairly well. Trump, of course, in this district won by a very slim margin, but a big military community.
What a difference 2 years makes.
It's like I thought, dude. A lot of people just ignored it.
What?
They're going to win.
It's like, you guys don't want free smoke.
Those races that they were looking for turning their way, but it is early. But that wave that they were expecting, you're not seeing that crest just yet. But keep in mind what states they're still keeping a close eye on. Pennsylvania, Virginia, New Jersey, a lot of those races the Democrats are closely watching. We still are waiting to hear.
Waiting to hear that. We're also waiting to hear from the state of North Carolina, where Dan McCready, an Iraq war veteran and Democrat, is up against the Mark Harris, the Southern Baptist patch. You see
where the fuck?
As well, Martha. This is another toss-up, but one Republicans felt they had a little bit of a better handle.
They did. The district hasn't been represented by a Democrat in 55 years. Mark Harris, a Southern Baptist preacher, he's very leaning full into Trump. Dan McCready, the Iraq war veteran, he touts his Christian roots, saying he was baptized while in Iraq with water from the Euphrates River.
Waiting for New Jersey to come in, one of the key races there in the state of New Jersey.
It's like, Jesus, like, what the fuck you doing, man? That's what I just don't get, man. I just don't get it. And then them too, I feel empathy for those guys that thought they were doing something, you know, good. Like going to war to. But they there's bad people over there. We gotta stop them.
Well, they could have.
Ignorant kids. Ignorant people, man.
They could be the types that come back and tell you that shit's wrong. There's
I'm sure that there's been plenty
of those guys.
There's been plenty, yeah. But again, they would probably say, "Yeah, I was ignorant. I didn't know what was going on. I just ran in there."
Well, they lied to everyone.
Well, yeah, they did. But then again, right?
Yeah.
That one will probably be lost tonight to Jeff Van Drew at Democratic State.
Southern Baptist preacher equals evil incarnate.
Is the 7th district. That's Leonard Lance against Tom Malinowski. There has been a ton of money spent there. Lance
fall into the Iraqi baptism.
His father wrote the New Jersey
Father, the Son, and the opium.
If whoever wins that one, I think, may tell us a lot about who's going
to
win.
Let's go back to Nate Silver right now. What are you seeing in your forecast now as this vote is coming in?
Every time someone says Baptist or minister, I think of Mace.
Yeah.
I swear. It's like, I just can't get that out of my head.
For example, it's a likely Democratic pickup. We have not called it yet. There are a couple in Virginia where Democrats are up by a percentage point or so, but 90% plus of the vote is in. I don't know if you can pull up the graphic. We do show a graphic that shows the range of.
Has these fucking people on Twitter. They're still gone.
To 20-something, but there is still a big range. It is ultimately about calling seats and picking up seats. They're going to be so called, I would think, in the next half hour or so.
I'm missing the susness of this fucking statistic board.
It's going to be a long, but
Say D plus 24, I'm like, that's kind of gay. Statistic.
It might be.
I don't give a fuck.
I think coming into tonight,
It's called the pause game. Lockheed Martin runs middle schools in U.S. and Israel. Is that true?
Whoa. I've heard of schools in the, what's it called? School of the Americas in South America, where they just like breed future warlords and shit.
Oh, man. Good.
Are you guys gonna watch?
No! Skip that. Lockheed Martin runs the census?
Yes, census.
Is that it?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Alright. Are you guys gonna watch Mayweather fight and the Asian dude fight? I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm curious. Is that gonna be like a kickboxing thing?
It might. I think it's MMA.
Because I straight up saw MMA gloves. One of them wearing them.
I think it's MMA.
Good. I will love to watch that.
They already did a press conference and everything for it. I'm like, you're fucking crazy, man.
Yes!
He's really doing it, and he's building up to doing the UFC.
Fuck. Yeah, don't fucking fight Habib. Fight McGregor. Here's the shit. Someone like that, in my vision, he's like, yo, he's secretly training every day.
That's what, as soon as I heard that announced, I'm like, he's been training this whole time.
Yeah.
For sure, he's been training this whole time.
19 seats, we could be
He's going to find a way to mitigate everything else and isolate boxing.
Yeah.
To where the other guy has no chance. Oh, look at the block kicks. Look at this. Oh, I avoided the takedown. Guess there's only one thing left.
We have all these people voting. We're at 3.8.
There's only one thing. Well, there are kicks, so yes, adjust to that.
I said that already.
No. I meant like
If you're in the pocket, there's no room for kicks.
Not if your name is Wonder Boy Thomas.
Oh,
no,
even
my bad.
Even
I forgot Woodley. Forgot.
Yeah.
My bad. Yes, we will watch it.
Yes.
Legally.
100%. For sure. Foregone conclusion.
He's like, he's an amazing fighter, and he's like, I'm making money. If he...
Smart about it, I was like, hey, let me not just rush into the UFC. Let me do this over here. Yeah. And the kid is undefeated, he's fighting.
He is.
Yeah.
Like 22 or 26 and now. I'm like, oh my god!
Dude, I'm about to make you famous.
Fuck, I am curious. Dude, I wonder who he's been training with, man. He's probably been training with, like... He probably gets like, Dwayne Ludwig and a bunch of other fucking, like, guys who are considered, like, the best in one room.
Fuck. Dude, this is dark. When they start selling certain stories, like, on Twitter... Like, I'm not fucking pro-Republican at all, but there's stories, the stories they happen to promote are things building up Democrats on Twitter. Right now, #1 trending thing is Florida. It says Florida will restore voting rights to felons. Like, well, who supports that? Okay, probably the Democrat. And you see Beto is trending. And under it says, watch Beto O'Rourke supporting 77-year-old woman with oxygen tank.
Oh my god.
It's like, what? You still campaigning? Let's get those last-second votes in, man.
Like, Christ. Like, see, I'm good.
That scares me.
I'm good. Camera's off.
That scares me away from Beto O'Rourke, however you say his name.
Just call him Beta Male. Just call him Beta Male. It's too easy not to.
Joe Manchin re-elected in West Virginia. The most conservative Senate Democrat survives because he was probably running against a more conservative, more to the right Republican.
A special election earlier in the year that then had to run in a new district after the state Supreme Court threw out the old districts, and John Trump was able to win pretty handily there. Third pickup for the Democrats.
He's going to win, even though he's expected to win. Frankly, his runoff, his special election race was tougher than this one, but another pickup. And remember, if the Democrats are going to win control,
yeah, man, no one wanted to smoke.
to basically clean up in Pennsylvania, especially what we've seen.
I'm not happy after that. Look at this shit.
Absolutely, and this is
Alright, like I average at least 25, 30 likes. You know what I mean? This shit's like, nope. It's sad, man.
Maybe because it's just a picture.
Yeah, you still see it. You still see it. My boy Pat supports. I'm making great arguments. She's getting like 80,000 every time she says it.
I honestly don't even know what any of this means. As far as whoever gets House control and Senate control and all this shit, it's like, okay.
Hey guys, tell me why you're morally right.
I mean,
now we'll have to go to commercial break.
Didn't Trump bomb Syria without congressional approval?
Yep.
Oh, there you go. It's for you, man.
Me.
A message just for you.
What?
I can't read it.
I don't know how to say his name. Gillum. Gillum says blacks commit violent crime because they are poor and oppressed, and white people commit violent crime because they are unequivocally. Is that right? Unequivocally?
Unequivocal. Oh, what?
Did you say that? Did you spell that wrong?
Unequivocally evil.
Okay.
We'll just go with that. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb.
I'm sure he didn't say that, or he wouldn't be running for office.
Oh, sure. Well,
so I'm sure that's how you read it, Matt.
If that's how you read it, you know, but if he actually said that, that's dumb. Now, are you quoting him, or are you just summarizing in your own opinion of what he said? Because I'd rather you quote him. No offense. No offense, Matt.
Democrats have still favored to win the House, so I want us to take a deep breath.
She looks like what's her name from Full House?
It is much harder than anybody thought.
TJ. Yeah. That's what you get for being corrupt. Right. So he steals all the souls of children. You just see people. My black buddy, where?
Well, you recruit for.
My black buddy, where? Where is he?
Possibly corrupt people picking out someone that will reflect their ideas. Like, we purposely picked out people from these districts. That's dumb. But your black buddy agrees. What do I agree with?
He's talking about me. Okay?
What do I agree with?
I'm the black one here. You said you agree with that. I said that shit's dumb. If that guy actually said that, it's dumb. But if he's summarizing it, I'd rather you quote him because...
Yeah, you're summarizing. Or, if I had to guess, you're misrepresenting his words. This guy sounds like a politician straight up, and they know not to fuck up with things like that. Why do you think people are going crazy about Trump?
Yeah, he just says shit.
He's a little bit more brash about it.
A little?
He hides things a little more, but he's a little more brash at it.
Alright, man, I guess he doesn't agree. My.
Misrepresenting the black man again, huh?
Black buddy. Brother. Yeah, black friend. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother from another mother. Right? Is that it? You guys
Those people are so dumb.
You guys gonna go rap now?
Lord Southern. Well, I don't want to live in a world 10 years from now, everyone's going to be named Muhammad. Like, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Your idea is Your idea is not you physically, but your idea is.
I'm going to get in a time machine, go back to the Attitude Era, grab China, and ever just power slam.
Hey, Matt, how about you ask the black buddy. Why don't you ask him?
Ask your black buddy why black Americans commit
wait.
Didn't we answer this already?
Matt, it's your. Okay? Your black buddy. Showed him.
How about inner city? Look at statistics for urban areas over rural areas. Find that stat for me.
Yeah, we already talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
And he just kind of disappeared.
We broke down almost every level. We broke down conditioning.
He's back! Ray's dad!
Ray's dad.
Ray.
This is his thing.
Oh, I am? I'm Ray's dad. No, it's this. He stands up, so it's like this. It's trembling. You see thunder in the background. All you see is you don't see his fingers. You just see one of his ring fingers like poking out, and you see the ring. Get smacked with that ring.
Surprised you're here, Ray. Ray's dad.
Down in Brazil.
I thought you got arrested in that whole incident in the music classroom. Thought that was you.
He's like.
Ah, my nigga, ah. It's like, what nigga, what?
My Christ.
What does Ray's dad say?
Donna Brazil has gotten a makeover, and she's lost some weight. I like the straight gray hair. She appears more distinguished. No longer looks like she just got a... No longer looks like she just shot Seth Rich. Dude. No, it's this. No, it's...
Why I oughta.
No, it's... Some funny guy, huh? Matt Hunter says, there he goes, blaming, quote, poverty.
I blame poverty, or did I blame people being really close to each other?
I don't know. Hey, Matt, I think this would be more, yeah. I think this would be more, what's the word?
Appropriate?
No.
Effective.
Effective if you decide to debate us.
Pick up the mic.
That means we can actually hear you talk.
Bust a rhyme.
Rather than going back and forth on text.
Hey, Ray's dad. I've been arguing with people on Twitter, and they're still full-on Hillary supporters, no matter what.
I want to know when Ray's done with timeout. You know, you're gonna hear a lot from Ray's dad, not a lot from Ray himself. People are wondering what happened to Ray.
I still believe this race is going to come down. Both the Senate race and the governor's race is going to come down to South Florida, both Broward and Miami-Dade. And also, you got to remember, there's another...
Imagine they start doing election coverage on the foreign elections they meddle in. Guys, the team that we want, the guy that we're propping up has a 52% chance of winning. What? I knew you were going to say that.
We are. And I think that's a good thing for the party, a good thing for the country. Jared Polis ran a great race in Colorado. That was a race really defined by local issues that mattered to the people of Colorado. It's an important pickup, and that's a important race to have. You know, I think...
Oh, cop was holding you out the window.
It became an issue that he wasn't born in Colorado. It was a very localized race. And it's
Come on, Matt. Give me an invitation.
Let's dive into the House a little bit more right now. Look at the roll coming in from the state of Pennsylvania. You see Chrissy Houlihan running District 6.
Matt, yeah. Matt quotes me as an argument. Patches O'Houlihan. I don't know about you guys, but that guy's some results, son. He said, my cousin River, boop, death. I had like a quoting war with Austin.
They stopped talking about issues. How many women on?
Hey Donna, what about that time you lied? What about that? Remember?
Didn't you write a book about rigging the election for Hillary, where she used basically all the donations, not donations, but funding, all allocated it towards her winning. I'll pay you back later. Give me your money.
Matt, where you at? Where'd you go, Matt?
Wow. Cruz is up in Texas by 0.6.
Give me the delegates, Donald. Give me the delegates.
Braun has won in Indiana, I believe.
Dean Phillips is a projected winner. They're in the 3rd district of defeating the incumbent Congressman Eric Paulson, seeking a 6th.
Why does Dean Phillips look like a gangster? Not in a cool way.
And a Republican that kept his distance from Trump.
McCaskill up in Missouri.
Well, you know,
7.5.
we're not really not changing anything because we're not going to vote, and we don't get the right to complain.
We're just going to pull up state of Pennsylvania. Let's go back to Pennsylvania right there where we see Susan Wild.
What a weak argument.
Wow.
What do you expect? If your name's Susan Wild, you're going to win.
Mikey Sherrill, former Navy pilot prosecutor, up against the state assemblyman Jay Weber.
Dude, don't tell me his background. I don't need to know that. What?
Oh, what? What happened?
$7 million than any congressional candidate in New Jersey history. I got 3 pieces of mail from her the last 10 days. So
Rick Grimes. I saw that. Coral. No, it's like this. Oral, you know, like Earl. Like Coral! Coral! Christ, that show's mediocre.
50 to 49.3%. Cruz over O'Rourke.
Did Jesus die?
No, he didn't die.
No.
Oh, spoiler alert. He didn't die.
I'm not watching that shit.
What I heard was rumors of him just taking the lead in films. Walking Dead films. So the whole thing, where I was like, oh, they ruined it by celebrating him. Oh, he's leaving now. It's like, oh, so he's dead. Like, no, he
Jesus?
Yes. No. Rick Grimes.
Huh.
When I heard Jesus, I'm like, oh, he's like the Jesus figure of the story.
Yeah.
But not really. They do have a character named Jesus.
They do.
Who refuses to
kill.
No, he'll kill, but he refuses to kill like captured guys.
Nice.
He's like, Maggie, think about it.
What the fuck, man?
Democrats have picked up 7 seats. They need 23 to take control. We're going to take
A whack show. It's like, guys, it's a great show. It's like, not really, guys. If you really look at it, it's just a lot of.
It's it.
We got to do this to keep the plot going.
Yeah, it's a bunch of horror movie tropes. People tripping and falling off over twigs.
You know what?
They're catching up to me now.
You know what someone said in the comments or whatever the fuck? Of like, I saw Rick's death. So someone said, like, end this shit already. That shit's been going on since I've been in high school.
It makes money though.
He pointed out that this
Someone says, like, no, Rick. Someone's like, end this shit.
Yeah, with them dead, the show will keep going. I don't know what people expect.
I just can't fucking watch it.
Social media. There was a lot of concern about that issue heading into these midterms thus far, and the night is reasonably young.
Always hated Carl.
Nothing to be too concerned about yet.
Coral!
ABC's Pierre Thomas, who works the Justice Department and has done so for many years. We've been talking a lot tonight.
Rick Grimes went out in
Pennsylvania, where there are a bunch of
the G-Unit way.
After redistricting, court-ordered redistricting in that state, there are a bunch of seats.
You didn't see it?
Oh, Carl. Yeah.
No, I said Rick Grimes.
Democrats have taken a few of them. So let's check in now with my colleague and friend, ABC's Eva Pilgrim, who's the co-anchor of Weekend GMA alongside me.
Sure about that?
Rick?
You're at the headline you're at the headquarters for
yeah, but he didn't die.
She has just been
You mean he didn't die?
to be a winner.
He floated up the river.
Oh, that's, I knew it.
Someone picked him up and took him into a helicopter, and then flew away.
So he's alive.
Yeah.
See, that's kind of just dumb. You can do that when you don't have people tripping on twigs and shit, and you're known for that. Like,
It's a decent twist because everyone expected him to be dead.
You just saved the character for later.
That's right. We're talking about The Walking Dead for some reason.
Because you said Rick Grimes, man. We're just talking about stuff. It reminds me of like wrestling when you get autographs and shit. Like, yeah, he's here. All the heads turn like this.
They're all like looks like old people.
I know, isn't that weird?
That's their thing, man. Vote or die.
Vote or die. We're close. Vote or die, motherfucker. They're like someone's gonna tell me, hey guys, you ever hear about the billionaire who drinks kids' blood? It's like, what? Young forever.
As of right now, the Democrats need to gain 23 in order to retake the House of Representatives. As of right now, they've taken.
Don't you see how this is silly?
But many races in many big states, including.
Right, this guy looks like Bill Maher's illegitimate son.
This is
I'm sorry. I only said it because his name's not Maher. Doesn't he? Look at it. Come on. Or maybe Bill Maher and what's his name? Come on, dude. He was in Star Wars. Taken.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
A former cabinet secretary under
President
Clinton, taking a seat.
She just looks like she beats people up.
Where she was running against a former Univision anchor, and this is the seat where
you're 12.
Come on, man.
District 5, Pennsylvania, of course, another state where, as Eva said, we're expecting potentially some big Democratic wins tonight. Among those,
well, they're naming projections with like. Well, this one's 72%. That last one was like 50-something%. And aren't there more people? I don't know.
Then had to turn around and run again because of this redistricting. And another race in Virginia. This is Jennifer Wexton, projected winner. This is a switch from Democrats to Republicans. So another significant victory for the Democrats on this night. When again, the big question is, will the Democrats be able to take the House? Maybe even
Liam Grimes.
We continue our coverage now with ABC's George Stephanopoulos and the rest
that could work.
Leanne Rhymes.
No, he instead of Carl, he said Carl. I will find you. And I will kill you. Carl.
George Stephanopoulos. George Fallopian.
George Scudder.
George Peanut Butterlopoulos.
George.
This is Jen now raised 9-1 in a Republican district. So like I said before, she spent $7 million.
It literally looks like they're gonna watch.
This is fucking weird.
It looks like they're gonna watch someone fight in like the center of that. You see that, right?
It's like George almost from the time President Trump was elected.
And we have another one coming in right now from the state of Virginia. Big one for the Democrats. Elaine Luria has defeated Scott Taylor in the state of Virginia too. This is one of the Democrats, as we said earlier, Martha had been counting on, had been hoping for.
Now you could ask like one syllable. Like, what is it? Syllable?
Two syllables.
No, Scott.
Women in these races, there are 10 Democratic women.
If his name was Scott Joe, it would work.
Scott and just got 2 big ones.
You call him Scott T.
Nate, are we seeing anything? Is any of this flipping you yet?
It is, yeah. Now we are seeing a more equivocal set of districts where you are
This
seeing.
guy looks like he's stolen some shit from people. At least once in his life.
I think this guy was a statistician for like baseball and basketball and shit.
What the fuck is he doing? Oh, he's gonna get more money here.
He's projecting like numbers and shit.
Dude, do you have a conscience?
He's Moneyball.
Is he?
So it's really going to come full circle.
UFC fans are like, blood.
Yeah, if this isn't legit, then we're gonna end up calling this thing. If it's only 14% reporting right now. In Texas.
Brett Gardner? Brett Gardner won?
Oh, I did see that guy in a debate, I think.
Texas is very close right now. Yes, it is, brother. Like, dude, that guy's a character. You know,
but only 14% reporting.
Stephen Mulliner deserves to be made, like, deserves a puppet to be made for him.
Won a good primary. It does a good job out there. This one's a surprise. Republicans are surprised to lose Dan Donovan.
You're not surprised at Christie? Don't corrupt you. Allegedly.
They thought he was the strongest candidate. Democrats have taken it. David, let's take a step back and look what the experts are telling us about the House.
I hate how they all have the same hairstyle. You know what I mean? It's like, we're individuals.
3D graphics and shit.
What the fuck is this?
Democratic Party to control the House, perhaps as a check on President Trump, because Republicans obviously control everything right now. 43% wanted to stick with the Republican Party. When you break it down, men and women.
I don't think Republicans want to follow Trump either.
Want the Democrats to control the House. 57% of women.
They just have to because of voting.
And when you were talking about this earlier, as the
in which case it's like, where'd the issues go, man?
People do believe the economy.
Do we realize we do that? Or it's not even about issues anymore?
When you break it down, have you felt the effects of this improving economy? Far right of your screen there, 49% of half of the voters turning out today say they feel exactly the same as they did a couple of years ago.
Let me bring this to Matthew Dowd. We saw that 10 points in the generic, in our exit poll.
We'll be able to prove it.
Normally you would think the 10 points would lead to an easy Democratic win, but you've seen a lot of changes.
Republicans might take over both House and Senate.
That was my prediction. Not even because I'm like, I understand all the scenarios, but because these guys report that the Democrats are going to win.
Yeah.
So it's like, it must be lying somehow. If I had to bet.
How much you all getting paid?
Mary Bruce, Nancy Pelosi came in tonight saying she was 100% confident that the Democrats would take control. I think she is, like those in the White House, also now feeling a little bit better than she was at the beginning about what was happening about an hour ago.
Dude, have you seen the fucking Ryan Dawson video on Al Jazeera?
How recent is it?
4 days ago?
It does seem that the night is just trending in that direction.
But I also think it's a 100% certain
Telling you, that shit is creepy.
Yeah, they used to be. Like, people would consider them reliable too.
No, I meant the video. So.
Talking about Al Jazeera?
No. He posted something at Al Jazeera, did a doc, like a doc.
Okay.
Like Conor Lamb said, they're not going to support Nancy Pelosi.
George, 44 Democratic candidates.
It's like inside like the Jewish lobby.
Oh, that's old news.
Israeli lobby, I mean.
It's old news.
Still?
Yeah, I'll continue.
Democrats take the House will depend on the margin of victory for Democrats and the makeup of the caucus.
Another result is coming in right now comes from the state of Arizona. It's the governor's race in the state of Arizona where Governor Doug Ducey has defeated David Garcia, professor of education.
Ducey. Doug Ducey. That's double D. Big D.
Two D's. That's a blowout.
Double D did blow up. Pause.
Ducey.
Double D. It's like, oh, you believe in Christ, do you? Yeah. Alright. This is going nowhere. Suck it up. First of all, don't you dare.
Incredibly talented candidate, and has been a really good governor. And the thing about
People's
Megan said is absolutely true. We're not ready to call anything yet, but if Martha McSally,
You mid Carter.
she has better got a big thank you
10 for
It's a 45.
So at least get like the Florida shit.
Utah, we're seeing some. We're going to take a look at the Senate race.
Yes, Crispy. Carl! I always hated Carl. Carl. I hated him. Oh, look, Mitt. His name's Mitt. Mitt Romney. Fuck him too.
Surprisingly, he did not swim right through the primaries. He actually had a
Christ, why is everything so like glossy and bright? Everywhere.
Makeup.
No, I meant everything everywhere. It's like,
retiring. He's hoping to be that adult in the room, sort of that voice to bring the
the adult in the room.
Isn't he like the richest guy?
He lives in like New Mexico. He lives in like Mexico or something. Yeah. Probably.
Because we said Bob Corker, who's been a frequent Trump critic, has now left. The Senate Jeff Flake also retired from the state of Arizona. Mitt Romney, during the presidential campaign, gave that scathing attack on Donald Trump, was considered for Secretary of State, didn't get it, has somewhat moderated his tone.
Yeah, Mitt Romney once called the president terribly unfit for office, and now a lot of people on the Hill are looking to Mitt Romney, wondering whether he can fill those shoes. Whether he can
Dad, can you fill the shoes, Dad? Oh yes, son, I very well can. Damn, y'all been streaming for 2 hours. I had no idea. Time flies, son. Levi! Yes. The freak. Patches O'Houlihan. 1. You heard? Patches O'Houlihan 1. I know him. Duck, dive, dip, duck, and dodge. you might really thought of like the last time I saw that movie. It's like squat your ass to the ground like you gotta take a shit. That's how you stick that ball James. Ha ha. See, everybody's old. Oh damn. I didn't see too many bald heads in here. Like there's not like I was gonna say there's like on average there's like maybe like 4 people under the age of 25 in that room. We need to change that. There needs to be more of this.
Looks like Gilm's about to lose.
Question is Chuck talking one? I'll go for Chuck talking.
By like 1%.
Oh, Jada.
Fuck.
You see that?
Ted Cruz will win.
Give me the delegates, Donald. Give me the delegates, for I am Ted.
Here comes the riots. Here comes the riots.
Ready? Beautiful Ted.
He says he's going back to El Paso and play with his kids and go back to his life. That's what he says. So, I mean, he's a guy that's been authentic in all of this. I think he's going to take
authentic.
A lot of time off. He's been traveling for 2 years straight, going all over. He probably needs a nap, or at least a week of rest on this. But he made a game for it in the red state.
The Wicker Man.
They set some records here for a midterm. 24% of the voters in Texas were Hispanic or Latino, 59% white. The issues in Texas driving this race, 38% said health care. That's not as far ahead as we've seen in some of the other states. 32% said immigration. That was, as you know, a big issue for Ted Cruz, pointing to the border wall, saying we must support this president better.
Oh, stop it. This fucking guy.
What did he say?
You know what Jamel Hill is?
No.
He's like a sports personality person, analyst, whatever. She has a house in Orlando.
Yeah.
And she has a house in LA, which is where she works from. And she's I guess someone's upset that she didn't get the vote in Florida. It's like, dude, just because you own a house here, you're just sitting there. But, why do you have 2 houses, too? What's up with that? I have my work house, and then I have... Poor Beto. Punk is dead. That was my prediction, but...
Republicans were saying that they expected Pennsylvania to be a bloodbath for them. That's the term they used. And it looks like it is. But
Trump, same thing. I didn't predict him winning. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you have no idea. Look at that. That's this is like 205 here. 235.
Yeah, it's weird.
Insane.
Yeah, Connor Lamb switching districts in the middle, which gets to the big conversation we've been having about redistricting here in the state. So interesting.
Damn, Greg called that guy Jackie Chan.
And let me just add another veteran.
Hey, they got Ocasio-Cortez.
Man, I don't like
AKA Smiles.
You mean fucking Sunshine? It's like I walk in the room, I just woke up, like, she's like, hello, welcome. Like, get fucking out of my God, too bright, too bright.
Became something of a folk hero. Enormous amount of money pouring in. What about him lit the left on fire?
Yeah, we were just down in Texas a few weeks ago in Houston, and I'm telling you, I've never seen this much energy behind a Democrat since early days of Barack Obama. Beto O'Rourke's youth, his rhetoric was soaring. It really grabbed people. He was appealing to parts of the state that had never seen their senator. He did a road trip to every single county in Texas, places Ted Cruz hadn't been in years. But it really came down to the exit polls that we're just seeing right now. It really came down to Beto O'Rourke's policies. He ran as a liberal Democrat in Texas, not as a Democrat, but as a liberal Democrat. And one point of comparison would be to look at Phil Bredesen in Tennessee, also a Democrat running there. He lost his race today. He was running to the middle. He was embracing Kavanaugh. He was embracing Trump at every turn. He lost. Beto O'Rourke lost as well. But O'Rourke was really going to the left. He energized the left. Turned out among the left in Texas.
Come on, Texas. Don't be Florida.
Stand by. I want to talk about Texas some more, but we do have a projection we can make in North Dakota and the Senate race there that this will be another seat that the Democrats are forfeiting. ABC News is projecting that Kevin Cramer will beat the incumbent Democrat Heidi Heitkamp, who we knew going into tonight was vulnerable. But
listen, the first baby could be elected as president of the United States.
Quite a margin of victory.
Yeah, this is a state the president.
We can make history. God damn it, man! Put your vote in the ballot. Hurry!
United States Senate. So we sort of saw this coming, and the tipping point, as we've been talking about all night, was Kavanaugh, and we've actually seen that in a number of races tonight.
So the results I wanted to see, I saw O'Rourke losing in Texas, Gillum losing in Florida, Ocasio-Cortez winning in New York, one district in New York.
Wins for him, 4 losses for him among those 61 that he's in.
All I gotta say is
waiting for the riots.
Go ahead and do that.
This is going to be somewhat of a non-sequitur from Trump, but it has to do with North Dakota because
I'll pull WWE. What, man? What? Go ahead, take your glasses off.
What are you shaking?
Why are you shaking, man? Huh?
Why are your voice cracking?
Why are you walking away, huh? Why are you 185 pounds heavier than me, huh? What?
What really would have been funny if you just put him in the Allies.
I did the Nolan Ryan. Nah, if you did the stunner. If you did the Stone Cold Stunner. No. Rock bottom on his desk. Then he points out. This is my music clap, bitch. My music clap.
Alright, guys, that is it. We are done here. I'm expecting riots. I don't know why. Just because. Maybe not. I don't know. But, thanks for watching. If you're new, subscribe if you feel like it. Always comment. We all worship George Stephanopoulos
and Matt Hunter.
And Matt Hunter Lapalopoulos.
Matt Hunter.
And as always, give this video a thumbs down.